Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Anu Ojo, and I want to welcome you all. Thank you for being with us. Today, we're continuing celebrating Dr. Sunday Adelaja on his 52nd birthday. This series of program is tagged DSA'S 52nd birthday celebration special. And we started on the 1st of May with DSA'S best books. Yesterday we had DSA'S chief values. And today we're continuing on another topic, DSA, a mentor. Like I said at the beginning on the first day, I said we're going to be having different topics, different areas, different speakers who would be talking about Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and to celebrate his life, to celebrate his legacy, to celebrate his impact, and to try in our possible way to talk about the different sides and the multifaceted personality of Dr. Sunday. And I want to welcome you all. If you missed the first 2 days, I would like to encourage you to please go ahead and you could watch it. There's a playlist that is named Demand DSA on Dr. Sunday Adelaja's YouTube page. So if you go to his YouTube page and you search for Demand DSA playlist, or you just search for either of the topics we've had, DSA's best books or DSA's chief values, you'll be able to see the last 2 videos. So you're welcome. We're celebrating Dr. Sunday Adelaja. His birthday is on the 28th of May, but from now down to that day, we're going to be having this kind of shows. So you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. On Facebook, I would like to encourage you, if you're watching us on Facebook, to kindly share this link on your timeline. You could share it to the groups you belong to, and you could suggest it to your friends. And on YouTube, viewers on YouTube, you could also share the YouTube link on different social media platforms that you are, and you can invite as many people as possible. Before I introduce the beautiful lady that will be speaking today, I want to announce that we are having a book promo. It is tagged DSA'S birthday book promo, and you could order for Dr. Sunday's books, any and all of his books, at a discounted rate. So if you want to partake in that opportunity, you could write to us at dsasbooks@gmail.com. dsasbooks@gmail.com if you want to partake in that opportunity. And also, after the presentation today by our anchor, we would give the opportunity for as many people who are interested in calling into the studio to share their thoughts, to celebrate Dr. Sunday. And speaking on the topic today, DSA a mentor, or DSA as a mentor, what do you have to say about that subject? We'll be happy to receive you. So if you would like to contribute, you could just go to Facebook Messenger from now. As a matter of fact, you could just go to DSA, to Facebook Messenger, and search for Move Agent on Facebook Messenger. So search for Move Agent on Facebook Messenger and write to us that you would like to call to contribute, to congratulate, to celebrate Dr. Sunday Adelaja's life and his impact, his legacy. All right, so thank you for joining us today. At this point, I would like to introduce the guest and also the anchor for today's program, who would be speaking on the subject DSA as a mentor. Let's make welcome the beauty queen, Elizabeth AINA. Good evening.
Good evening, Pastor, Doctor. Good evening. I don't even know how to address you. Should I call you Apostle Anu?
The name is actually Anu.
I'll refer to you as Mentor Anu. based on what the topic is today. So we'll stick to the subject line.
Thank you.
Hello,
You're
everyone
welcome.
as well. Thank you for being here. It's a blessing to be here again.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. You'll
Well,
be speaking on DSA as a mentor.
okay.
So
Yeah.
maybe you have some word of address to begin with. What would you
Yeah.
like to say to our viewers who are watching before you get
Okay.
into your presentation?
Okay. So I just want to first of all sort of just start by, wishing DSA a very big, beautiful, happy birthday. 52, is it's a beautiful age. It's we thank God for his life. We thank God for his growth. And I'm gonna steal this line from you because you said it yesterday on your own when you did your own show, and it was when you mentioned that we were celebrating the life of DSA. And for me, it's to know that we're celebrating somebody's life, whilst they're still here. It's really a beautiful thing because we are very good at celebrating people when they're gone,
True.
and the level of how important and how relevant the works that they did whilst they were on the earth would also signify how long we will celebrate them for.
Yeah.
Because I remember when the Nigerian man who died on the Ethiopian airline, when he passed away, a lot of people started celebrating him because he was gone. We were hearing things about him. His name we'd never ever heard of, prior to his death. A
Yep.
lot of people died on that same flight, and we don't know their name. But Pius, everyone's been talking about Pius and talking about how great his works are, and I'm so grateful to God that we're not going to celebrate DSA not just when he's gone, but we're going to get to celebrate him whilst he's here, because we always say something, myself and Success, is that we always say that the most important aspect of Jesus on the is it's not actually his death. The most significant thing about Jesus is not his death. The most significant thing about him is his life, which everybody needs to learn to replicate and try to duplicate. And so that for me is one of the most beautiful thing about being able to sort of align or sort of relate DSA to the life that Jesus lived, is to be able to say that he's living, is not just existing. He is
Wow.
here for a purpose, and he knows that purpose, and he's working in line with that purpose. So anytime, any day, it's a great time to celebrate a man with that sort of mentality. The man that has recognized himself with his purpose and is in line and is living according to his purpose. So it's beautiful. I also want to start by also debunking people's mentality about the word mentorship before I get into the actual topic. I remember when I started following DSA. I remember, okay, growing up for the first, let's say, 20 years of my life, I will honestly say that I've never heard the word mentorship before. I've never
Okay.
heard the word mentorship. I only heard the word mentorship, I would say, maybe around 21, 22. And even then, it wasn't something that was promoted as something that, you should desire to have.
Yeah.
People would, conception within the religious body, religious community, it's don't make man your god was the image. However, we were actually making man our god by actually following so religiously according to what one man was telling us. We did
Yeah.
not use our own sound mind to think for ourselves. So
Yeah.
even when I started following DSA, I didn't actually acknowledge that DSA was my mentorship, until, for a while. And one of the most important things I actually learned from DSA when I started watching DSA was actually how important the word mentorship was to DSA.
Hmm.
And it was actually one of my first.
Oh, I think we lost her. All right. Well, we're going to call her back. I think something just happened right there. But our viewers, well, we are talking about DSA as a mentor. And if you just joined us, this is DSA's 52nd birthday celebration special. And we're having another speaker today who will be defending our presentation on the subject DSA as a mentor. DSA as a mentor. So you're welcome all. While we try to get Miss Elizabeth back, I would like to announce this book. This is the latest book that was released by Dr. Sunday, and it is titled Damaged by Religion. Damaged by Religion. And this book doesn't just talk about the damage that religion has led to, but it even goes further to give a path to healing, a path to healing. And I think this book is a book that, I mean, Africans, we need to get this book to read because we need to be healed from the damage of religion. So if you want to get this book, you could order for the book free or by subscribing to Amazon Kindle Unlimited, or you could get this book on Okada Books, or you could write to the office here at DSA'S to get this book. So the book is titled Damaged by Religion. All right. So we have Elizabeth back. So you're welcome.
Hello, thank you very much for having me back. I was a bit shocked. I was like, oh my God.
All right.
Yes. So let's just continue. Yeah. So I was just saying that, so initially, when I got to meet DSA, one of the first things that I learned about him was mentorship, was the word mentorship. And I only learned it because at the time I've shared this plenty of times. In 2016, I was in a relationship that was abusive. And I remember being in that relationship and thinking to myself that I want to come out of this. I want to come out of this. And I needed a mentor. I really, really needed a mentor at the time. And DSA was a mentor, even though I didn't acknowledge that it was a mentor. But that wasn't even the biggest thing. Biggest thing was for me was being able to sort of understand the word mentorship and actually understand how important and how relevant it is in the life of anybody, because I started to look at the person that was abusive to me, and I started to look at his life, and I started to look at who was his mentor, who is he looking up to, what sort of leadership skills does he have around him, what sort of, who's his leadership sort of, who does he look up to? Because we are a reflection of those things that we listen to. We're a reflection of the people that we listen to, all the people that around us. And for me, I was able to relate to that. I was able to sort of look at him and actually see that, he was a result of a failed mentor. And, he really genuinely had a lot of mentors in the place of pastors. But when you look at the lives of those pastors, they were either control freaks, they were displaying leadership as authoritarian, they did not have the autonomy. They don't even know, what it meant. Hello? Oh, yes. So can you still hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They didn't even have a basic understanding of how to be a mentor, how to be a leader. There were people that needed a mentor themselves. There were leaders that needed leaders themselves. They needed to learn what leadership meant. So for me, I was able to see that, and I was able to sort of project that to my own life and my own scenario at the time. So yes, I want to debunk that misconceptions that we have that having a mentor is bad, because today we're going to really, really look into the word mentorship, and we're going to talk about how profitable it is to have a mentor, and who is a mentor and what is the use of a mentor in our lives. Yes.
Wow,
So,
amazing. Thank you so much for that introduction.
Thank you.
On the screen, there was the, I think, the initial part of your slide, and also on the promo design or promo poster, it was a picture of yourself and Dr. Success. So I think it won't be wrong for me to say congratulations on your wedding and your marriage. And I think today you would be speaking on behalf of the family.
Yeah. So yes, that's one of the things I must apologize about as well, is that I'm representing us both. I hope you accept me in your heart, everybody.
Definitely. All right. So before you get into your presentation, I would like to speak to our viewers who are watching us right now. That was just the introduction that Mrs. Elizabeth just gave, and she has a presentation as I did yesterday, and Dr. Gideon Idowu did yesterday. And if you're just joining us, I would just quickly like to announce that there's an opportunity for you to join the conversation at the end of the presentation. So if you would like to join today's conversation, you could just go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents, and write to us there that you would like to contribute to today's subject, or just to congratulate Dr. Sunday or to celebrate him. And also, I announced at the start of today's program that we're having a book promo, and that is DSA's birthday book promo for the month of May. So for you to get a discounted rate of Dr. Sunday's book, I'm talking about getting the hard copy of his books. You could write to us at dsasbooks@gmail.com to get a hold of as many books as you desire. And also, if you're just joining us, I would like to encourage you to share. All right, so, well, the floor is yours right now, Mrs. Elizabeth. So please lead us on.
Okay, let's just get the slides up. Are the slides up?
All right, it will be Rocky. Yeah, it's on now.
All right, that's perfect. Let's just on the first slide.
Yeah.
So who is a mentor? Like, as I've just explained, one of the misconceptions that we have of a mentor is that is someone that is God. We have created a demigod for ourselves on the earth. But those are all our own misunderstanding. Those are religious views that we formed about who a mentor is. So I don't know how many of us got to watch Dr. Natalia during the last HMT. She was one that she looked at mentorship as a system of change. So that was one of the I hope all of us watched it. If you didn't watch it, I do encourage you to go and watch it. Go and find it on YouTube. Catch up, watch it. It's very, very interesting. So today I'm just going to talk about myself and Dr. Success put together a PowerPoint slide for yourselves to talk about who a mentor is. And and we're just gonna start with our own definition of a mentor. We've seen the definition, but we put together our own definition, and over time, as we go through the slides, we'll understand why that definition was set. Okay, so the definition says that a mentor is a person who teaches how to arrange the puzzle that you already carry. So you have a puzzle and you want to know how to put together your puzzle. So what the mentor does is there to oversee you putting the puzzle together. So you have to connect the dots. You still have to do the work. But what he does is he oversees. The other thing says that he or she teaches you how to manage the glory that you already carry within you. So you already carry God within you. You already carry, blessings. You already carry, amazing things within you. But you need to understand how to exercise that. So you already carry the skills, you carry the knowledge, but you need to know how to manage the knowledge. So now that's what so we're going to keep reading. So it says, a mentor wakes you up to the reality of the glory and wealth you already possess. So it is not really there to give you knowledge. That's not his job. That is for you to go and get. That is your own work. And I understand that that's where it can get a bit scary, because now you're realizing that what the mentor is not going to teach me everything. No, because you've got to have some basic knowledge. You've got to have some basic understanding. Like, for example, the CEO of Facebook, what Mark Zuckerberg, once talked about how the late CEO of Apple, what's his name, was his mentor, Steve Jobs, yeah. And he talked about how he was his mentor, and he talked about how he helped to oversee him. So what's his name, Mark already had the wisdom. Mark already had the knowledge. He already had the understanding of how to put things together, but he needed somebody to guide him, to help to, maybe to say to him that instead of just joining into creating affiliation with a company, why don't you go, or creating a relationship with a company, why don't you go set something up? Why don't you look into the market to see what's trending at the moment? So what a mentor does is it really points you into the direction, but you've got to go and do it. You've got to go and do the assignment. You've got to go and fix. You've got to go and find it. You've got to go and break and make and, put things together yourself. Okay, so we say here that mentorship is a form of leadership. I think I've mentioned it a few times now. The mentorship is a leader. It's a style of leadership. So he is not to serve you like a pastor. So he's not there to rub your head and tell you it is well. He's not there to pray for you and be like, oh no, that's not. You've got people that train to do that. Counselors, pastors, they're there to do those jobs. That's not the mentor's job. The mentor's job is to teach you principles. And that's exactly why people don't like DSA. That's why people come and attack him. And that's why people say, but why don't you come to Nigeria and do it? Because people want to see results. People don't want people telling them to do. It's not even a popular thing within the Black community. We like the free stuff. Like, we want to get. We want to see, we want something that's already created. We want something that's already there for us to just come and enjoy. That's why when you talk to people, they're like, but why don't you come why don't you come to the country? Because people don't want to know that somebody's got something within them that they can take from. That's something that they can use to rebuild and rebrand themselves. They don't know that, and they don't want to know that. So let's just keep reading. So it says, Ralph Waldo Emerson says, I love Ralph Waldo Emerson. I think everybody knows by now. It says, our chief want in life is somebody who will make us do what we can. That is our chief want in life. And that is what a mentor does. It's going to make you do what you actually can do. So it's not as if you can't do it, but you need somebody to put you through. You need somebody to tell you you can do it. You need somebody to sort of talk you through doing it, convincing you that you can. And I said here that is one of the most funny and quite cliche sort of speech, because it's like saying I need somebody to come into my life and convince me with all necessary resources that I can do something that's actually okay, and that's okay. We all feel, and I said, and that's okay, sorry, that we all feel like that sometimes, especially through the fears of our lives. You know, it's okay that you feel like you need somebody to come and remind you that you can do something. It's okay that you feel you need the extra hands. There's nothing absolutely wrong with that. But you have to understand that you've got to actually allow yourself. And that's going to bring me to my next point, which says that who can be mentored, which says that a mentor can only mentor someone who is already willing to learn. Somebody who is willing to learn. It's not just anybody. It's not just, everybody likes the idea of a mentor, but we'll get to that anyway. But yeah, everybody likes the idea of, I want a mentor. But can you actually have a mentor? Can you have a leader? Can you really sit under the leadership of someone? So we're going to go into that, the next slide, please.
All right. So what's the title of the slide?
Oh, it's still under who is a mentor.
Okay, still under who is a mentor. Okay.
Under who is a mentor, yeah.
Okay.
So this one, just continue. So it says, a mentor teaches us how to look beyond ourselves. So a mentor is not really teaching you that, okay, do this because you want to be great and that's it, or do this so you can buy a car. No, a mentor is someone that is projecting into the future. A mentor is thinking about a bigger scale. A mentor is someone that is, we'll get down to that. Let's just say, for example, the mentor role is not to keep your eyes on him either. So basically, it's not to keep your eyes on him. It's not like, oh, I want to make you become like me. No, it's not that either. But rather to help you realize the blessings that you can become to the world at large. Beautiful. So it is not about the mentor. So your gaze should not be about who is this person. And people become so nosy, nosy as people, because people start thinking it's like going to a lecture room, yeah, and my lecturer is there teaching me everything he can about supply chain management, and I'm thinking about how many children does he have. Does he sleep around? Does he have a problem? Does he have a problem he's battling with? That's none of my business. So it says that now, if the person you are looking at, for example, looking up to is your pastor, then you will only be as great as a pastor. What I mean to say about that is that if you are only looking up to your pastor, remember, a mentor is not pastor. So it's not there to just make you feel good. It's not there to be your friend. It's not there to just, caress your ego. It's there to, to speak to you about the things that you want to achieve and actually bring you principles on how you can actually achieve it. So a mentor's focus is not for you to be like him. So the message is not for you to gaze your eyes on him, focus on the gaze. The focus is to gaze your eyes on where it is taking you, or you will miss it. So I just mentioned that. So it is not your job to be assessing his life. Focus on the expertise when the focus is too much on him. You either secretly make him your God. Okay, so when this focus is too much on your pastor, your mentor, oh, my mentor is amazing. Like I was using the example of my ex. Like, when you make them your God. So now when they say to you, I remember my ex, I would say to him, let's go on a date. And it would say, if I miss church, my pastor's going to be hungry. What do you mean go on a date? Don't distract me. God needs me. And I remember all this stuff, and it makes me laugh sometimes. But, I think about it, it's because he has made that person his God. He's created fear in his heart for that person. But the thing is, a mentor doesn't hold you down. I mean, at the end of the day, I can get off the class and walk out of my lecture if I don't want to be there. That's how it is with a mentor. You've got to come with your own personal devotion. So that means that your motivation comes from within. It is not your mentor that's going to be motivating you. You've got to find your own motivation. You've got to listen to his motivation, his him, so that you can learn and grasp things from him, so that you can use it to build yourself. So when you're coming to be mentored, you've got to come with that mindset that I'm going to be open to change, but he's not there to say, sit there or I beat you or you missed, your health. It's up to you to devote yourself to be mentored. And, I'm going to be quite harsh today, but it's because we need to, it's just the truth. It's the truth. So it says here that, okay, so you secretly either make him your God or you quickly start finding fault in him because the role has not been clearly defined in your mind. So your mindset has not really been trained. So, for example, like I was saying about my lecturer in supply chain class, if I come to him, if he's teaching me and I'm too focused about the fact that, I had a failed 30 student last year, or that man is really strict, then I'm creating a mindset about, I'm not really listening to what he's teaching me now. I'm focused about stupid things that don't concern me, external factors, things that are none of my business. That's what I'm thinking about. And that's the problem. We can't keep thinking like that. That's not his job. It's like, for example, when Steve Jobs was training Mark Zuckerberg. Imagine Mark was just, focusing and thinking, does Steve have 5 kids? The focus is that Steve has an expertise in the market. I can learn something from him. You go there, focus on what you want to get it and go. That's your business. So if your dream and vision is only susceptible to the 4 corners of the church, then you will only be as great as the church and useful in a building for selfish reasons. But remember, the dream is to look beyond yourself. Remember, it is not about me. Most people in the 4 corners of the church are there for me. What can I get from God? What will God give me? How will God bless me? What a quick blessing, miracle. It's easy to go to church than to go to listen to DSA. It's easy to, because there's somebody here teaching you principle, but there's another pastor promising you, if you invest 5,000 naira, God will double it. God will triple it. It's easy for us. You quickly watch as people become thieves. Everybody's a thief. The pastor is trying to rob the members are trying to rob God. Everybody's trying to rob each other. And it's really, really sad, because that's not the principle of life. How we always say the truth is universal, because it's about principles. That's what makes things work. It is not about, I feel like this, or my religion feels like this, or my culture feels like this. It's not about feelings. And that's one of the things that Miles Monroe tried over his days to conquering feelings. You can't be looking at life is not about feelings. It's not about emotions. We've got those feelings. We can't get rid of them. God gave it to us, but we've got to know how to mind them. We've got to know how to train them so that we can use them to bless ourselves. I'm just gonna stop here for a couple of seconds so that for a couple of minutes, so that we can listen to what a mentor is from the horse's mouth himself, from DSA himself, so that he can tell us what it is to be a mentor. And we've got a video that we're gonna just play very quickly. I hope everybody doesn't mind.
So I think there's a video, right? So let's have the video there.
It's just the first 5 minutes.
All right. Okay. So we'll have the video right now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a week that we are going to be talking about mentorship. Now, why do you need a mentor? Or why everybody needs a mentor? Why everybody needs a mentor? Now, why do we all need a mentor? A mentor, my friend, is priceless. And what makes a mentor priceless is because it teaches you from its years of experience. Now, in that experience, there are pains, there are bad times, there are good times, there are challenges, there are troubles, there are sorrows that he had overcome and he has amassed on himself over the years. So all those years and experiences is giving them to you in 1 or 2 minutes of speaking to you. So a mentor is priceless for every one of us. We all need a mentor. A mentor is teaching us from his pain. A mentor is teaching us from his experiences. A mentor is giving to us the wealth that he had accumulated over the years. giving, maybe what took him 40 years to amass is giving to you in 40 minutes. What took him 20 years to learn is giving you in a few minutes. So that is why we all need a mentor. There is no man that can prevail in this life all by himself. We are too small to be the Lord or the author of our own life, because there are a lot of things to learn in this world, and there are a lot of things that you don't know. There are a lot of things that other people know that you don't know. And there are a lot of people that have lived before us, they have lived before you, and that experience has given them and has equipped them to be able to know and teach you something that you are yet to encounter. So that by the time you get to your destiny, you will be ready, you will be prepared to be able to confront your destiny. So that is why we all need a mentor. That is why a mentor is priceless. It teaches you from his pain. It teaches you from his experience, so that you will avoid those pains. You will avoid those experiences. You will not be able to repeat the pain, the experience, the troubles and the challenges he had to go through to come to that conclusion. God bless. Hello, all everybody. Right. We continue to talk about mentorship this week.
Great.
Has it been 5 minutes?
Is it up to 5 minutes already? Not yet, because it's meant to be 5 minutes. Let's confirm. We'll confirm now if that's up to 5 minutes.
Why do we all need a mentor?
Okay.
Well, we all need a mentor because only fools learn from or by their own experiences. Only fools learn from their own personal experiences. We all know that we could all learn from wisdom of others. We could all learn from the experience of others. We could all learn through instructions given to us by others. But if we don't want to learn with the wisdom of others, if we don't want to learn through obedience to instruction, if we don't want to learn through the fear of God, and if we don't want to learn by observance, we will be made to learn by our own personal experiences. Now, it is wiser to always learn from the experience of others, because if you want to learn from your own experience, what does that mean? That means if somebody says, don't touch that electricity, you say, well, I don't believe you. I want to experience it. You might touch that electricity and don't survive it. Because you might touch it and you might die. Some people have died by touching electricity, and they didn't survive it to tell the story. So they couldn't even learn from it to correct their actions, or you could be paralyzed by it. That is your experience. Learning from experience is dangerous. For example, a young lady that is being told that don't go about sleeping about with men because it's disastrous. Some of them will not marry you. They break your heart. They say, well, I want to try everything by myself. The people who say that they want to experience everything all by themselves, they only experience the bad aspect of life. But the people who choose what to experience, they are the people who are wise because they avoid the bad experiences in life. So you don't want to learn by your own experience. You want to learn by the experience of others, through the experience of people who have gone before you, so that you don't repeat their mistakes, you don't repeat their pains, and you don't experience their sorrow. God bless.
All right, good. I think it's 5 minutes now. Yeah.
Okay, so that's, I wanted us to hear from DSA itself, what a mentor or who a mentor is, and how important and essential it is for all of us to quickly go and find a mentor. If you don't have one, go and define that person is my mentor and mentally accept it. That is my mentor. There's nothing wrong with having a mentor. There's nothing wrong with saying somebody is discipling you or you're a disciple of somebody. The one thing that qualifies people to be called a disciple is that you have someone, you were trained directly under the leadership of that person. So like Jesus had disciples, DSA's disciples. It's like that. You're the mentor. You become a disciple of the person that mentors you. And that's it. That's just as simple as it is. Okay, so let's just move on to the next slide. I think one of the things that stood out for me the most about that video we just watched is DSA's saying that the most pathetic person in the world is the person that doesn't have a mentor. I remember sharing my story with DSA, like, when I first came across DSA, when I first met him. And I remember one of the things he said to me was that, that's one of the saddest things, like, for a person to only have had, to only have had their own experience as their own way of learning in life, and that's what we're taught. That's what I know how to do. We've been taught, okay, don't make man your God. Don't, we just experience through life. We don't know that we can learn from the experience of others. We don't know that there was any such thing as, learning from somebody else, So, yeah, I just wanted us to watch that video very quickly and just grasp one or two things. I hope it blessed one of us or all of us.
Amazing.
Okay.
Before you move to your next slide, but
Yes.
I want to appreciate that you started on that point, because I had to explain who a mentor is,
Yeah.
because I think the vast majority of people don't even know who a mentor is. Just like you said, that it took, I think maybe it was in your 20s that you first heard the word mentor and mentorship, and even when you were following Dr. Sunday, it wasn't like it was your mentor of any sort or something like that, or maybe it was your mentor, but you didn't even acknowledge the fact that he was your
Yeah.
mentor. And I think it's good that you did that, because many people just see Dr. Sunday as a pastor. Some people see him as a teacher, and even when he has a mentorship program, but even many people don't even
Because
pay.
they don't know what it means to be a mentor.
They
So they
don't
don't
pay,
understand his mentorship program. They like, what
exactly.
is this mentorship thing?
Exactly. They don't even, so he has a mentorship, an online mentorship program that anyone who is interested can go to. That's sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. And I'm sure many people who even follow him, I'm not visited it, because they're okay with Dr. Sunday just teaching and listening to Dr. Sunday during his live programs. But it's good that you explained. I mean, you started by explaining who is a mentor and the difference between a mentor and a pastor, or a mentor and a teacher. That a mentor is different from a pastor. A mentor is different from a teacher. And perhaps after your presentation today, we'll have more people who will be interested in going to
The mentor.
register for the mentorship program, because
Yeah.
many people also who have registered, when they got into that program, I've had Dr. Sunday share some testimonies of some people, and they said that the mentorship program is even more sophisticated and more comprehensive than what they did as master's students. You understand? And that's exactly what Dr. Sunday is about. As a mentor, he has created a whole system about mentorship. But I just wanted to come in just to appreciate you for starting on that important note by explaining to every one of us who is a mentor. Who is a mentor? So great. So we're listening to you. Please go ahead.
Yes, please let us proceed to the next slide. Thank you very much for touching on that, Dr. Anu. Thanks for mentioning that. Absolutely, like, when I watched during the HMT when Dr. Natalia talked about the mentorship program that DSA had, and that's why I encouraged everybody at the start. Like, if you've not watched Dr. Natalia's topic, teaching during the system HMT, go and watch it. Our mentorship is a system. Go and watch it, because you would see the difference of plans that DSA has put in place. During the mentorship, how it is structured, what you will have to go through, to basically say to yourself at the end that yes, I am qualified. It is not just, oh, come, just take any of my book, go and read it. No, it is about, she talked about the three stages of it, the three clear-cut stages, which is, you going through the stage of actually finding yourself to start with, discovering, being able to answer that question, who am I? That's where it starts from. So you go through a series of training on that, then you go on to another one, which is now start thinking of what am I called to do, what am I supposed to do, or how do I find myself, blah blah blah. I don't even know what that second one is properly, and then the last one then is now how to think of a nation, how to think of nation building and stuff. So you're going through three stages of training. So it's not gonna be easy. And then you looked at the timetable, she broke it down in tables, and it was very, very detailed. And that was to show people that, look, We have a plan in place. We don't just call it mentorship that you just come, there's a video, go and watch. No, they have a plan in place. There's something called mentorship. That's why I said it's like a storm. If you're used to being under a pastor and you come here to be mentored, it's not going to be easy. But then you've got to come with that mindset, because you can't be focused on, the workload. But you've got to think, it's like a student that's like, I've got like 3 courseworks to do, I've got 2 exams to do, oh my God, I've got 2 presentations, I've got so much to do in 1 month. I'm not going to do it, but you're going to do it. You're going to do it. Why? Because you know that if you don't do it, you will fail the classes. So you've got to devote yourself, even when you don't feel like you, just keep pushing yourself. Because at the end of the day, there's something they're going to hand you, one beautiful paper, and it's going to say either you got first class or whatever you got. You look at it, you know that this paper is the what's it called, representation of the hard work that I've devoted into these courses for the last couple of years. And it's just a paper, but that paper will take you places. Beautiful. And that's how it is. Beautiful. That knowledge will take you places, So let's just thank you very much. Let's just move on to the next slide. Sorry, everybody, I just diverted. So Pastor Natalia covered during last HMT. You talked about mentorship. Let's move on to the next slide. Yeah. Oh no, let's go with the one that's got the table on it. It's got the factors of success.
Okay, the one with factors of success.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, and you explained that table. You talked about the fact that what we just talked about, environmental factors sometimes are limitations, and then she said that the knowledge is just 10%. That's 10% knowledge. That's it. That's all the mentor will contribute to you. And character, that's your own character. These are the factors surrounding mentorship. So we've got the environmental, we've got the knowledge, and you've got the character. So you've got to bring all of that together into mentorship. Let's just move on to the next slide. Right. So she also mentioned that the mentor does not teach knowledge. Sorry about that. My slide just went poof, disappeared in front of me. Yeah. Okay, so mentor does not teach knowledge. It expands the scope of your knowledge. So it expands the horizon. It takes you out of the church into the world. It's like Jesus telling you, go out of a building, go into the nation. He doesn't tell you. It's not like you don't already have the knowledge. It's just taking you from one knowledge base to another. And he's telling you, look, there's a big box and you're sitting in one little box you've created for yourself. Come out into the rest of the boxes and expand. So she also mentioned that mentor can teach, but it is the role of the student to take in and think deeply. Okay. So anybody can give you any material, but what can you do with it? How do you dissect that? How do you, envelope? How do you sort of envelope yourself into it, like Gideon did, when the angel of God did to Gideon? How do you take that all in? How do you go out and do something? I always use the example. I like this example of David. I think I shared it in one of my shows once. How David, had to stand up on behalf of the Israelites against the Philistines. He had to challenge the Philistines who kept coming into their territory and challenging them and saying, at that time, David had to make a decision. At the end of the day, God already anointed David at the age of, I think, 15 or 17. And then, he could have just, he could have been waiting for God. Oh, God, when are you going to crown me? But he had to stand up. He had to go face the Philistines. He had to challenge his fears. I'm sure at the time when he had to go against Goliath, he was probably filled with fear. But because of he was able to stand up, the Israelites were able to get victory. If he never went out, who knows what will have happened today? At the end of the day, you got to take that leap. You don't know what the end is going to be. You don't know what the outcome is, but you got to keep going. You got to face those fears and you got to conquer it. Okay, so I've got another video called saying a leader is empathetic, but I'm not gonna play it. I'm just gonna talk about it. It's just a short clip where somebody talks about how you're going through something, and then people look at you and say, "Oh, bless you, it is well." And then what a mentor does is they will come into the hole with you, and then sit with you and actually drag you out of the hole and show you the way out. Like it's kind of like that, like. A leader is empathetic. I believe that everyone who wants to be a mentor must be empathetic. It's only then you're able to think beyond me and able to think beyond self and able to think about because a mentor is not thinking about creating himself. It's thinking, how can I help somebody maximize their potential? How can somebody maximize who they are to bless for a bigger cause? So it's not like about, it's like, okay, how does this person recognize himself? How does this person magnify himself? And how does this person bless the world what he has discovered? So that's how it is. It's not about just saying, I trained him It became like he's a good pastor now. It's not like that, because it's so much more. It's about representation. Okay, so let's just move on to the next slide. Got a few slides to cover.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. I don't know if you got any questions, Dr.
Okay,
Anu.
so we're moving after the a leader is empathetic. We're going to the next slide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So this slide is called Man Mentors Man. One of the things I've been hearing about a lot lately on, I find quite funny on Facebook, that people have been saying, maybe even among people reformers, is that, oh, Jesus is my mentor. What does that mean? What was Jesus is my mentor? What's that? Jesus already mentored the people he wanted to mentor, the 12 disciples. He already did that. Now you need to let somebody else mentor you. You need to listen to a new mentor. There's a new mentor has come. Every stage of every man's life, you meet a mentor. You meet. It's not about waiting for. You cannot just have one mentor and then this mentor is a spiritual being. People just think you're psycho. Like, you gotta understand that Jesus' teachings are there to guide you. Just the Bible says it's there for reproof, for you to understand historical information that has happened, things that you can relate to, how God relates with us, how God wants to create a relationship and connect with you. But if you really want to learn the principles of the present day and age, the time, it's about time. That time has evolved when a new time. You need a new mentor in the new time that has experienced it, over a certain, over the course of time, Anyway, so let's just see what this says. So it says, man mentors man. Jesus is not the only mentor. So it says, behind every successful person, there is a mentor. That's the popular saying. That means that when you become successful, you ought to look back at those who mentored you and learn from them and carry the legacy on. So you've got to recreate the legacy. And then it says, I like Denzel Washington's quote. He says that, show me a successful individual and I'll show you someone who had a real positive influence on his or her life. I don't care what you do for a living. If you do it well, I'm sure there was someone cheering you on and showing you the way forward, a mentor.
Sure.
So that it is because there's always gonna be that, and that I mentioned here that Denzel Washington himself was someone that was mentored by Sidney Poitier. I don't know how many of us know Sidney Poitier. He's one of he's like 93 years old now. He's one of the greatest. He was the first ever Black American actor to get an award in some sort of special award. And it was the first Black American actor. He's like 93 years old now. And, the age factor is always a blessing. The age factor is always, especially when the person is open-minded. The person is woke. Not just, oh, the person is my pastor. But rather because the person's got something to offer you. Because they've gone through that same or similar experience. And that's, that's a massive blessing. So, yeah. So that the show me successful person, there's always going to be somebody behind every successful person. There's always going to be somebody who mentored. So that means if you want to be successful, it might be wise to get yourself a mentor. Because behind every successful person is a mentor. If you're struggling, you're wondering why, maybe because you need someone to just put you through. Maybe because you just need someone to just look up to. And it doesn't have to be someone you know. I think I mentioned that there as well. That you don't even have to have met the person physically. And I mentioned that I think the problem is that we think maybe it's someone that we have to have known, physically. However, the majority of us have been mentored by DSA over the past years, and I've never actually met him. I have never met DSA, but we know him through his works. His work speaks volume for him. His works goes to different countries for him. His works, you don't even turn on your phone, go online, buy some books, listen to stuff. Join the mentorship program. Challenge yourself. And then you'll see eventually that, whoa, okay, you know what, maybe I hadn't actually been mentored my whole life. Maybe I need to cleanse myself. There was a reason DSA started the mentorship program, and it wasn't for self. It wasn't so he can give himself glory, no, but rather so he can help us understand the potentials to debunk all this rubbish that we carry within, and to help us to realize that you can be a better version of you. You can be an amazing version of you. Don't push it away, because when you're trying so hard, when I was growing up, I read something that Sister Vic posted recently, and it was about being normal. And she was like, that people are normal, that she was trying her whole life to be like everybody else. She wanted to be normal. She wanted to be just like the rest of everybody in the world. But she realized that, when she grew older and through experience, she came to understand that, wow, I don't want to be, I'm the best version of, I think her name is Chibuzo or something, or Chizoba or something. And she was like, she was the best version of herself. And for me, I was thinking to myself that day that, I realized that when we try so hard to be normal, what we're doing is we're trying to kill the best version of us off. We're trying to take on a less awesome version of ourselves. We're trying to say, you know what, I'm too good. I'm too good. I don't understand this greatness. Let me just be like everybody else. But the thing is, there's nobody that is supposed to be normal. There's no such thing. You're supposed to. Thank God DSA wasn't normal. Thank God Martin Luther King wasn't normal. Thank God what's it called? Sidney Poitier wasn't normal. Thank God Desmond Washington isn't normal. Thank God great people that we know of today are not normal. So let's just carry on so that we don't spend too long.
Before you, I will interject again. That before you continue, I know you have a lot of amazing stuff to share with us. But just to highlight some of the things that you're saying, I don't know if people are really listening to you. And I don't know if people are able to pick out some important points that you just made. But I mean, you made some very profound points because you started by saying that Jesus is not the only mentor. And
no.
if I heard you right, you were talking about, you quoted Denzel Washington talking about the role that a mentor plays in the success of an individual. And if I understand the word success, I don't think success is a Christian word. And I don't think success is a religious word. And I think everybody wants to be successful. So,
exactly.
So we're now trying to...
It's a bit of an hypocrisy, yeah.
Yeah. So trying to understand why Jesus would be the only mentor. I mean, just trying to just figure that out is just an interesting thing, I must say. Yeah, because I mean, so the word mentor is not even a religious word. If I understood your explanation,
yes,
there's nothing religious about the word mentor. It's just someone like you started by saying that a mentor is someone who is not there for your comfort. It's not your pastor who wants to rub your head and be telling you sweet words that you're good. But that your mentor is there to push you, to shift you from your comfort zone, to push you and and something you said that was very good is to expand you. I mean to expand your capacity. Yeah, and that's fantastic. And another thing you said, and I'm not sure if people, I mean, it'd be great if people picked it out, but you said something very great there, that you don't have to meet someone for you to be mentored by that person. And that's interesting because we're talking about DSA as a mentor. And hopefully we would have people who would call in today from different parts of the world. People who have not seen Dr. Sunday. I mean, they don't even know, they don't know what his skin feels like. They've not touched him ever.
Yeah.
But they are wherever they are, either in America, either in Asia, either in Africa. Dr. Sunday is just here, seated in Ukraine, but he has built a system, and like you mentioned, and we talked about earlier, the mentorship system that people can register by going to sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship and experience the mentorship. And it will be as though he is right there with you in your room, holding you by your hands and leading you to where you need to be. So that's great because many people, they think to just have a mentor, it has to be someone that you're always with, spending time with. But, Dr. Sunday has all of his materials. Now, I don't know, Elizabeth, can you now understand why Dr. Sunday always says that for you to say you are following me, or for you to say you understand me, Dr. Sunday always says that make sure you listen to at least 200 of my messages. Maybe you can explain that. Maybe people could understand the concept of 200 messages as regards DSA as a mentor.
Okay. So basically, the truth is that you can't sit on the one message or a few messages of someone and think you know him. Remember what we talked about, distraction. Because the problem with people don't know what that word mentorship means. They don't have a clue. So when they meet somebody, they start relating him to a pastor. When we met DSA, everybody starts pastor this. He had to come and say, look, your fans. I'm not pastor. I'm doctor. Call me doctor. Don't don't call me but what do you call it? But don't call me pastor. I'm not apostle. I am Dr. Sunday. That's my
Yeah.
that's what my degree says. I'm a doctor. And that's it. Recognize me by my level of achievement. That's it. Don't come and say, okay, you know what? That's because people have come out from the mentality of pastor. So when you come, and you know what they do is they judge their pastors because they're also coming from a place of judgment. They're coming from a place of condemnation. So when you come out of that into the light, sometimes you start going back. It's like taking someone out of village, but they're still sort of partly in the village because they're still behaving like that. That's how it is. We've got to understand that it doesn't happen overnight. Recognizing DSA as your mentor, or even understanding what he's trying to do, it's not gonna happen.
The process of mentorship.
Yes,
He's not
because you got
saying I'm your mentor, but that
not
process, that
you.
price.
Right. Yeah, and then when you've taken it long enough in, then you're able to say, okay, you know what? I grasp him now. I get what he's saying, but now I need to take like about 3 months to go and into solitude.
Yeah.
You don't just hear him and say, oh, that relates to something, and just think that's no, because that's not who DS is not saying, look, I'm perfect. It's not saying I'm a pastor. He's saying, look, I'm your teacher. That means focus on the message, not me. It is not about me. When Maya Angelou was training what's her name Oprah Winfrey. What imagine if Oprah was too busy looking at Maya Angelou and saying, what does her life look like? What does she look like over there? That woman has been divorced, or that woman has a problem. What if she was focused on stupid things? No, it's not about the distraction. Focus on the message. Focus on what she's trying to do through you or in you. That way you can really, and that's why DSA says, look, don't come here thinking you're my friend. Don't come here. I don't need a friend. If you come into DSA, know that you're coming to be mentored. DSA is so underappreciated because I'm like, how many of y'all can go to your geos that all they have to do is lay their hands on you and see them? DSA welcomes everybody and says, come and learn. Come into my classroom, come and learn. And people don't get that. They still think it's about him. They think it's trying to, but the thing is, it's from that mindset. It's like it's a failed nation. But that's something that I was actually going to address in the slides as well. Right. It's a result of a failed nation, a failed, training, a failed background. And it's the result of what we've been taught. And that's what you see people expressing and exerting.
Wow. Fantastic. All right. Yeah. So we're moving to the next slide, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Moving. So I said mentorship. A man mentors man. Still man mentors man still under that.
Okay. So still under are we in the previous slide that talked about that you had the Jesus is not the only mentor, or the next one?
The next one.
Okay, the next one. Okay, good.
Just men. Yeah. So this one is just talking about the examples of men or man or woman in our day and age, or in history, that has mentored another person. I've just included how Oprah Winfrey was mentored by Maya Angelou. I already mentioned that earlier, the late poet. The former, I mentioned about Mark Zuckerberg as well as Steve Jobs. And I talked about, President Benjamin Mays was outspoken critics of segregation before the rise of, it was also the mentor of Dr. Martin Luther King. Mother Teresa was also mentored by a father, everyone knows Mother Teresa. She's very popular for, in her 20s for, operating orphanages and stuff, 8 hospitals and stuff. And she was mentored by a man called Father Michael Van der Peet. And they always say that there's no way you talk about the story of Mother Teresa without bringing in Father Michael Van der Peet. And, Mahatma Gandhi was mentored Dr. Martin Luther King as well. He also mentored Nelson Mandela. Vikram Saribai mentored APJ Abdul Kalam. Martin Luther King then eventually mentored. So he did not only get mentored, he eventually mentored somebody else. He mentored 2 other people, Jesse Jackson and John Lewis. Was able to mentor those other 2. That's it. It's about sort of transferring of greatness into the next generation. You're not really recreating yourself, but then saying that, look, I've been great because of somebody else, and I want to pass that on. Okay, so let's not spend too long on that slide. Let's move on to the next slide.
All right.
Next one says, mentorship can solve the problems in the world. This one's quite funny. We're getting really serious now. Okay, so it says here that the goal is to create people who can transform nations. Remember, the goal of mentorship is to create people who can transform nations. Is to create people with the mindset of change, with the mindset of growth, of development, elevation. It's like creating people with a brand new mindset of wanting to be a blessing to someone, wanting to be great because they understand that their contribution. There was something that you taught, Dr. Anu, in one of your previous teachings on values, and it was when you talked about purpose, and you talked about the fact that each and every one of us has a purpose, and we must, without you, every problem you see, you mentioned that every problem that you see in the world today is a result of somebody that's failed to identify their purpose. It's like when you fail to identify how great you are, then you fall short of how great you can be to a blessing to them. So when you see a problem, you're like, why is that problem? It's because there's somebody, it's you. Maybe that was your job, but because you failed to groom yourself, somebody else has to come and do the job. So the failed leadership, I talked about the failed leadership, the failed countries, the failed marriages, the failed parenting, the failed systems, are all results of lack and good mentorship, or the evidence of a bad one, and can all be fixed with good mentorship. So one of the John C. Maxwell says that one of the greatest value of mentorship is the ability to see ahead of what others cannot see and help them navigate the course of their destination. So that was something else that Dr. Pastor Natalia covered when she talked about mentorship, was also the fact that a mentor will see because he has the experience. It's all about the experience. It's literally, that's what it is. And I think I mentioned it, there are a lot of people, I don't know if it's this slide or the next one. There's something to do with that anyway. So let's just keep reading. It says, a lot of people have no sense of direction. I learned very quickly the importance of mentorship and how the man or woman turns out without a mentorship and the absence of good one. I mentioned that earlier, whilst watching DSA. I've realized that the majority of our men are told that they will become leaders. I'm talking about husbands now. A lot of our husbands are told, you are going to be a leader. But they have no clue what it means to be a leader. They have no understanding of what leadership or mentorship means. They have no understanding because they did not have any mentor to show it to them. And the majority of the mentors they had were either poisonous ones as well. So the majority of people in leadership, in our place of leadership, as presidents, governors, senators, everybody, majority of them do not have had never had a good mentor. So they just go there and display pride and ego. The smart mentor, like DSA, recognizes national dilemmas. He recognizes a national issue and tackles it head on by first correcting the mindset of the broken. Now, I was talking about the mentee. So it's the person that wants to be mentored. You have to correct that person's mindset, reshape their mindsets first. Then you can then pass on a message to them. If you don't change the mindset, they can't grasp. How do you want to teach somebody that can't get the information because it's too very much in the religious zone? How are you going to bring that person and start telling them about, you've got to think about success? You mentioned before, people don't even think about success. They don't think about success because they affiliate. They think it is bad, but everybody wants to buy a car. Everybody wants to buy a new house. Everybody wants to build. But nobody wants to do the work. Everybody, because it's easier to look and expect things from God. So we can talk about the miracles, but we don't want to talk about the hard work. That's why somebody once made fun of us that when you invite a Nigerian man to come and do interviews, sir, how did you achieve it? They would say, it was God. It was God. Because we can't even talk about the process that it took us to achieve a thing. It's so funny, like we can't even say, okay, I did it, or I took a few steps, I reduced the number of food I was eating, and it was like, oh God, it's just God, like, so shameful. Okay, so so everyone meets a great mentor at the point in their lives, that's something else that I mentioned earlier, that we meet a mentor. I needed a mentor at the time I met DSA because I needed it. And I didn't know, even though I met him and he was mentoring me, I still didn't.
At the time you met Dr. Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I needed one, and I met him. So we all meet one. We meet our mentor. So recognize your mentor. Acknowledge the guy is my mentor. There's nothing shameful about it or something bad about it. There's nothing evil about it. Nothing spiritual about it or devilish about it. It's not superstitious and it is not blasphemous. It is correct and is relevant for the kind of life that we are to live on this earth. We need it. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide.
Yeah, before we go to the next slide, I'm just feeling that there are some of the viewers who are watching us right now that I believe they can resonate with what you're saying, because I mean there are many people who call Dr. Sunday my mentor, And so there was a caller yesterday who called in, and you just talked about how problems can be solved through mentorship. And I remember a caller who called in yesterday, and he talked about how just being a mentee or a disciple of Dr. Sunday, his mindset was changed. And
Wow.
he had a car, a personal private car for himself that everybody wants to have that personal car, private for me, I mean my family, and then I cruise. But you mentioned about the change of mindset that happens through mentorship. And that's what many people don't understand too with Dr. Sunday as a mentor. At DSA as a mentor, mentorship is about changing your worldview, changing your perspective. So this man who called yesterday, Mr. Olarewaju, do you know what he did to that his car? He sold his car. And he said he bought a Sienna. That's a bigger car that can take more people. And guess what? What he does now is that he solves the problem of people who don't have cars to go to their destination. Or if he's going to another city or another place, he takes his car that he bought, that is a Sienna now, and he uses that car to carry people. Wow. So from having a private car that's just for your own comfort, but listening to Dr. Sunday, having a change of mindset, which is about mentorship, it changed his mindset that it's not about me. I am here to solve a problem. There are people who are walking who don't have cars, and I'm here in my own car alone. But through the change of mindset, he sold his car, meaning he sold his comfort. And you talked about a mentor not being here for your comfort, but he's there to give you the truth.
Out of your comfort zone.
Exactly. So this man sold this car, and this guy he's not seen Dr. Sunday ever. He was saying it yesterday that he would really love to come to see Dr. Sunday, to shake his hands, to hug him. So he has not seen Dr. Sunday before. He had not come close to Dr. Sunday before. Just through the messages of Dr. Sunday, he had that change of mindset. And now he's solving the problems of people. No matter how little we think that is a major shift that happened. And I'm sure there are people who are listening to us that would have more testimonies. And that's the reason why I want to give out this invitation to everyone who's listening to us right now. Maybe you have an interesting testimony. You have maybe an example of a shift that you had in your mindset and some problems you are solving in the world right now because of the mentorship that you've received from Dr. Sunday. I think it'll be fantastic if the world would hear your testimony. So if you would like to call in, please just go to Facebook Messenger, and right now you can do that. Just go to Facebook Messenger and write to us that, hey, I have a testimony. I want to share my testimony. DSA has mentored me, and I've experienced this change in my life in this area, and this is how I'm changing my world. I think that kind of testimony from you would definitely give a lot of people courage, help people understand why, DSA as a mentor, what can happen in their lives, what can happen in their minds, what can happen in their community just through this subject of mentorship that Elizabeth is sharing with us. So please, if you want to share your testimony, why not just go ahead right now and write us that you'd like to call, and it would be great to hear your testimony. All right, so thank you very much for that. Would continue with Elizabeth right now.
Okay. All right, let's just go on to the next slide before the call start rolling in.
Okay.
So it says mentorship can solve or add to the problem of the world, still on that topic, but I'm just gonna give us a scenario. So I say in layman term, I use the king, the Lion King's picture. I know everybody know this movie, The Lion King, and it's a kids movie, as an example. So I use the example when Mufasa died and supposed brother Scar took over the land, we could drastically see the destruction of the land, and we saw what we saw was the difference in the leadership, and we could see the difference under the wrong leadership and the mentorship compared to how rosy it was before Mufasa actually died. So I realized very quickly that the person who took who we look up to can also decide how greatly or how limited we rise. So whoever you pick as your mentor would decide a lot of things about yourself. It's about how you dream. It's about how that person pushes you. How hard is it that the person pushes you to want to become greater, to actually go. Not somebody that's telling you to wait for God to come and do. Not somebody that's teaching you to whilst patience is very, very important and highly essential, but not somebody that's telling you just sit around and be praying, So know who is it exactly that you're picking as your mentor, because that really would determine how the land. I mean, look at those two pictures. Which one? Where would you rather be? Would you rather be on the left, or would you rather be on the right? Where would you? I would want to be on the left, because look how beautiful it is. Look at the land. Look at the greenness. Look at everything. Yeah. But look at the dead land. Yeah. That's just a simple children movie that taught us just how important and relevant leadership and mentorship is. When you have a good leader that is not about me, but rather about how great can others be. The leader will produce what's on the left. When you have a leader that's about what can I eat. People were starving, dying when Scar was the king. There were people that obviously the animals were dying, and dying off. All the trees were dead. There wasn't even a single tree left. Sun even stopped shining. Look at the sky. It just looks messed up. That's not the kind of atmosphere that you want. That's not what we want to create. That's deadness, and that's how it is. When you offer your life into the hands of the wrong mentor, and you make your pastor your mentor, then you have to remember that your pastor is not your mentor, and it's because your pastor is caring, loving, and that's not his role. So you've got to recognize that. So, yeah. Should we move on to the next slide?
Oh yes.
Okay, so the qualities of a mentor is one of the experiences. I've already mentioned this before. Okay, but I'll just mention it very briefly again. I said that one of my experiences when I met a quality. Oh yeah, I'm mixing it up now. Sorry. A mentor is one with experience. So when there is a mentor who has experienced something literally, then there is no need for another victim. There's no need for you to feel. So it's simply learning through their experience and expertise. I think that's what I was saying about when I met DSA, and DSA was saying to me that, it felt really sad that I had to go through my own experience to learn. And, Bill Gates' wife recently said that in an interview with Oprah, I don't know if many of us watched it, I think it was last Sunday, and she mentioned that she doesn't just want to help one person, she wants to help all. And that's what a true leader, that's what a true mentor does. So a mentor does not just set one loose, it breaks all free. And that's the problem with people that follow DSA. I remember when we first started listening to DSA, people would say to DSA that, so why don't you just write to the pastor directly? It's that mentality, is that plague of silence. Is the African man has a plague of silence. It's like, we just think of minding my business. The mentality we carry is that, let me just, we don't have a world problem. We see a problem. We all talk about the problem, but then we all mind our business. We have a problem of mind my business. So we tell DSA, why don't you go direct? Because we really want to help one person. But remember, the mentor is not thinking of helping just one. The mentor is thinking of setting everybody free. It's not, so if it goes directly to one person, set the church free, it's not about setting a church free. It's not about setting up, it's about setting the world free. Everybody needs to hear the message. So all this goes silently is because of that mentality that people are formed as well. So
before you move to the next point, there's something you're saying that I think it would be very great if you share a very practical example, because for me, I think using your life as an example would be great, because you were talking about you meeting Dr. Sunday at the point where you needed a mentor.
Yeah.
All right. And and you're talking about how it's not just about one person. And looking at you now, I mean, you're a voice. Anyone that does not know Elizabeth that you know on Facebook, I don't know who you know, because I mean, it's like when you come out for your programs and you're speaking and you're bringing liberation to people. So it would be great if you can share how what you just talked about, you meeting Dr. Sunday, just with a very practical way, how you met him at the point where you needed a mentor, and how right now you're practically mentoring people, even if you don't agree with me. But you have your platform where you speak to people, where people come to you, and where you speak on certain subjects. So I think from your life, if you can share, if you don't mind sharing your testimony, I think people can borrow a leaf from you to see how from not having a mentor in your life, you got a mentor, and now you're practically mentoring people on your platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, oh my God, my life, my experience or encounter of DSA as a mentor, if if this Elizabeth is not the Elizabeth from 3 years ago, that's for certain. Is the drastic, okay, the boldness, first of all, to have left a relationship that, I was engaged to the person, families were involved, where's old Elizabeth going to get that from? Even though I always had this sort of this, I'm a bit of a rebel in my mind somewhere inside my brain. There's this rebel, but apart from that, like even though with that, there was always this fear. I was very, very timid. I was very shy. I was very, very, I kept a lot to myself. I don't share things with people, and people don't even know what's going on. And I just was very, very to myself. Yeah. I didn't even know how to relate to people's problems. Yeah. But what DSA as a mentor for me has done is DSA has taught me to relate to everybody at large. Not just, I watch as DSA has to go through different sort of backlashes and stuff, people coming to him and saying, different things to him. But he through that, he graces through that, staying confident. This man teaches us about knowing who you are in God, in Christ, that confidence, that peace of God that surpasses human understanding, that even in the face of all the drama and all the trouble and all people hating, you don't care, because that doesn't move you. That doesn't move you because that's not your focus. I've learned so much, like, being in that relationship, that abusive relationship, being able to take my experience when I left and being able to say I want to share it with the world is something that old Elizabeth would never have done. I would have kept it. I would have been shy. I've been thinking that, people will judge me. They will say this. And I don't even care now these days. Like I literally don't care. Like, I will just share it out there and just be like, look, I've been in an abusive relationship, and in no way does it affect me in any little way to say, because I'm so confident that there's a lot of people that in that kind of relationship that needs to understand that marriage is not a do or die affair, or relation, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or being engaged to someone is not a do or die affair. It's not. It's just, you have to understand, a relationship is a choice. Jesus talks about the fact that, some people are not even going to get married in life. Some people are not even meant to get married. I used to think I was one of those people that would never get married. When my husband met me, when Success met me and started talking to me, initially I was like, who's this guy? But obviously it was able to sway me off my feet and everything. But still, even with that, like, I remember saying to him that I don't want to get married. And he must have been like, what? I was like, I don't want to get married. I really don't see myself getting married. I don't see myself as a person that would get married. I would, if the old Elizabeth I'd not had a mentor, if I did not, seriously, I really always say that DSA for me was like Jesus. It's like the example of Jesus in the world. Because at the time that he came into my life, if I hadn't met DSA, I probably would have gotten married to that person.
What you're saying, sorry, before you continue, what you're saying is so true. And I think it's not just you, because imagine what you're saying now, and because I've seen it, and I think our viewers who follow your program, they would see that, so they would almost not believe that you were ever once a shy person, or you were ever a timid person or fearful person. It's almost unbelievable, because when you speak now, like the bravery, the courage, the confidence that you speak with. But it's interesting that you're saying that 3 years ago, before now, you were the total opposite. You had fears, you were shy, you were timid, but through the mentorship, of which it's not like you met Dr. Sunday one-on-one.
I feel like, even though I didn't meet Dr. Sunday one-on-one, I feel like Dr. Sunday called me out. Remember, I shared a video about the slavery in Libya, and the Libyan crisis and stuff. And that was when they reached out to me and did a video with me. And I remember that day when I did the video with DSA, I was sweating like blood and water that day.
Wow.
I finished the show and I was like covered in sweat. I remember just thinking, oh my God, I don't know what but I remember DSA writing to me after saying that you were very confident.
Yeah.
You were very, and I'm like, who was confident?
So he was calling out confidence from inside of you.
It was calling me out. It was challenging me. It was telling me to come out of my comfort zone. I was fighting. I was like, I don't want to do it.
Wow.
I don't want to do it. And over time, I was able to sort of build. I watched the show back, and even when I was watching, I was like, I wasn't shaking. But I'm like, why?
You couldn't even believe yourself.
I was shaking. And it was not easy. Like, seriously, it really DSA believing in me before I even learned to believe myself. Like, he saw that. He saw my potential. He saw what I can become. If I just challenged myself, if I turned him down and said, look, DSA, I don't want to do the show. I ain't got what it takes. Do yourself. Life would have gone on as if nothing happened, right?
Wow.
But at the end of the day, it's about me then stepping out, saying, okay, you know what? I want to do this. I want to go on that show. I want to talk about this. This is something that's passionate. It was about the family series, with the differences between men and women, and something that is very dear to my heart. Because, ever since I was little, I think I shared before that since I was 6 years old, I have been fighting for women, and God is my witness. Like, literally everybody that went to school with me can bear me witness in Nigeria that I was fighting for women. Even in my class, when I enter the class, all the boys will go. Like, literally, they would just be, you see them going, like, there was this thing where they would turn off the light and they go and touch girls in their, private parts.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I'm in the class, that would never happen. If they'll be like, Yana is around today. They used to call me Yana. They'll be like, oh, she's around today. So nobody would be like, everyone would just go dead because I was fighting for girls. When we watch TV, I'm constantly fighting about Nollywood and fighting about this. And, so for me, like, when I, got to see DSA, and DSA was like, okay, this girl, and I was thinking that, for the first time, and I got to speak about these things that have been in my heart for so long, that I was able to come out of my own, like, a little box and be like, you know what, these things are of passion. I don't care how many mothers are going to write to me after I finish the show, because I have a lot of mothers. I have a lot of women around me, and men, people, speak to me. They feel like, okay, you know what, are you going the wrong route? Don't, but the thing is, the truth is, I've never been more of myself than when I, those days when I got to really speak the things that were in my heart, when I came out of the box, because then I'm now saying I recognize with myself, my potential, who I am in Christ. I recognize with who God has called me to be by allowing some mentor help me to recognize that. So what DSA did, he woke me up. He woke me up from the sleep, like, wow. Wake up, girl, wake up, stop sleeping. Great. And, go out of the relationship that I was in. I was able to get out of that relationship. I was able to, listen to more of DSA shows. I remember I would not miss a single one of the shows they were doing at the time, because I met them. They were doing the family series. I watched everything, the parent, everything. And I remember just going over every time DSA, and they started talking about pastors. I would listen to every single thing. And then I was sharing everything. I remember, like, me, it was like I was like already sort of had I was just thank God that I already sort of knew God before I met DSA, because I was already worshiping God in spirit and in truth. That's one thing you mentioned last night, that there was a difference between knowing a lot about someone and knowing someone. Mm-hmm. You mentioned about that you got to realize that you as a pastor, you knew all the principles, but the truth is you couldn't even say to people, I'm going to heaven. I'm going to be going to heaven, because you weren't confident in it. And that's how I felt. It's like, but at the time I was already in a place where I could say, okay, I know God is spirit and in truth, but I wasn't walking in obedience according to his guidance. So God was telling me, write a book about this, do this about this, speak about this, talk to people about this, challenge that. But for me, it was always about finding a way to keep God silent. Even when God was saying to me, leave that abusive relationship, and
because
giving me something the way
that you had.
Yeah, it was the fear
everything.
Of what we could say, So I think all of those cleansing, getting DSA to debunk all of those fears of my heart, watching this confident man. For the first time in my life, I saw a man fighting for women. I was like, listen to DSA, like,
and that's the same thing. A man fighting for women, and that's the same thing that you have a burden for.
A burden for. Do you get me? So it was the mentor, it was just natural that we will connect.
Wow.
It was natural to connect with him.
Great. Fantastic. I mean, that's a great testimony, because right now, You have become a deliverer to women. Through your videos, you've become that. And I think it's a testimony that the world has to know, and they have to know that mentorship would, like you said, it will call out those inner treasures in you and push you to becoming the deliverer and the savior to your world. Amazing testimony, amazing testimony. You continue your presentation, but I want to just give maybe another, just to remind the viewers that I'm sure maybe some of you watching, you also have testimonies like this. So please, if you want to share your testimony, you could just go to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agents. You know, imagine someone like Elizabeth who had, in some minutes time, when she's done with her presentation, we're going to receive your calls, we want to receive your testimonies, and we want to be inspired and to be motivated by the impacts that you are already making in your community. All right. So Miss Elizabeth, we're with you.
Okay. So I think I stopped at it has the materials, the information, and the expertise. So I think we can all agree that
moving to the next slide, right?
We're still on the mentorship, that one about the Bill Gates wife.
Okay.
So he has the materials. I think we all have. We are on the third point. So basically, so he has the materials, information, expertise. I think we can all agree on that. There's no time need to spend time on that. Okay, so a person can only be a mentor to others when he's not afraid to share their own personal life experience. I think we've all heard so much about DSA's personal past and experiences, and even to the point of relationship wise and everything. So our mentor is who we listen to. So that's why we must be mindful of who we have around us and who we sit under. For me, I have a big problem. I can't sit under somebody that cannot share their life experience. So someone that's constantly telling me the Bible says, for me, I just can't. You need somebody that's able to sort of be realistic and relate it to real life experiences. Okay, so next slide, please. So the next slide says one who must be mentored. So this is a list of, I wanted to actually put this list as one who cannot be mentored, but I was actually saying this person must be mentored because they're difficult, So I said one who is not willing to learn. Everyone wants a mentor, but not everyone can sit under the leadership of mentor, and that's it. That's what I'm trying to say. Like everybody wants, we want a mentor, but we don't know that it's called a mentor. We want a good leader. We want someone to put us through life. We want someone to tell us you can do something. But it's actually what we're looking for is a mentor. And but not everybody can sit under that leadership. So one who is not capable of accepting criticism. So if you're going to be mentored, you need to be able to be told you've not done it right. That's not the way to do it. Here's a different way to go about it. True. So remember, the role of the mentor is not to pastor or dictate. The mentee is not to spoon feed you as a mentor. So a mentor would not do that. It will only teach you how to do it yourself. There's a feeling of entitlement in African due to age, gender, position. There is even something now called grace mate. I've heard it before that. You're not my grace mate or something like that. No one can challenge such people because they use age as a factor to intimidate or surprise you or use their grace. So another thing I like about DSA's mentoring style is that today is no age group. Everybody should learn. Everybody must learn, and everybody can learn from anybody of any age. And that's the way that it should be about life, because that's the principle of life, is that you can learn even from a child. The plague of silence, as I mentioned before, people pretend that people tend to victimize the culprit. So it became a case of DSA versus pastors. So it was not like, oh, why are you correcting them that way? Instead of them taking responsibility. So people started saying, oh, but why is DSA correcting people? Why is it not writing to them? But that's the problem. Is another mental problem that comes from not being mentored. So one who lacks the mentality of taking responsibility, and that's a very, very popular one in Nigeria, because, like as I mentioned, a lot of people want somebody to just give them something. I think I mentioned it on the next slide, so I will talk about it there. So how many of us have heard people say to DSA, take it to pastors privately? I've mentioned that as well. Okay, let's go on to the next slide and just finish this up.
Okay, yeah. So this is negative reactions to mentorship, right?
Yeah. Okay. These are the negative reactions to mentorship. So negative comments, for example, how many of us have seen comments like people say to people in the diaspora that I mean, it's usually say show me what you have done back home, or why don't you come back home and do it?
Oh, they say that to I mean, this is like negative. They say this to DSA a lot.
They say to DSA about, they say to everybody who has a plan.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we can all testify. So, and I said that that's due to a consumer mentality, because it's easier to get money that will last you 1 month than to sit down and take a lesson that will last you a lifetime. People remember what I was saying about people don't want to take responsibility. It's a very popular behavior. Nigerians don't like, we pass responsibilities on to other people. So I was saying that we don't want to sit under leadership. This is because majority of people never learn to take responsibility themselves. They don't want to do it. So they pass on the blame to DSA and others, thinking that, okay, so others people talking. So because people generally don't like the idea of delayed gratification, they just want to see a quick result and someone else has done. And this is a consumer mentality. They don't want to know. It's like somebody's coming and telling you principles. They don't want to know. They just want you to show them results. So what DSA teaches are principles, deep skills management training, which when rightfully followed will yield successful make you a successful being and bring you the outcome that you want to see. But it is only a lazy person that cannot be mentored. I will have a problem with that. Okay, so those who are procrastinators. So people will say, like, it's just not the time yet. Maybe I met him. They do this. The CDSA show. They're like, I'll watch it later. Tomorrow's on. I'll watch it later. But like, you never watch. Then we can't catch up because it's too much. So it's never the right time. I was talking about when we're young, we're told it's always the right time to do the right thing. So so we must always said here that was right to do so. When we grow, so basically don't procrastinate. Basically don't leave it for later, because it's never gonna be an actual time. You're never gonna be ready. You just gotta make yourself ready. That's it. So a lecturer's job is to teach. Remains your job to grasp it. So both the teacher and the students have to put in the effort.
Yep.
Okay.
Great.
Next, should we go to the next slide?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Okay. So I don't know why people are not calling in. I was thinking
No, we're going to be done with you, because if we start receiving calls, we might not be able to.
Okay.
So
let me.
Yeah. So you end your presentation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the last slide says what we have learned from DSA's mentoring style, myself and Success, is that when I was saying before, I already shared this, that when I shared my story, DSA style, it's like when he felt pained in his heart. It's learning that I had to go through the experiences and learn. And I think we all know by now how important mentorship is to DSA. So what I'm trying to say is that I want us to know, we did not know before, mentorship is very important to DSA, because DSA is a mentor. He's not a pastor. We have to understand his identity. That's who he is. So it's important to understand that it is important that a DSA carries, what we mentioned before, that every leader must have the empathy, not sympathy. Empathy, a sympathetic person will look at you and say it is well. An empathetic person will show you how it's done, so you can better yourself and better others. So it carries that openness, brokenness. We've seen DSA crying on shows plenty of times. People are like, oh, he's a drama queen. But the truth is, because he feels it can connect with you. That's something that Pastor Natalia also mentions, that a leader can connect with you. I also watched that in a recent documentary, that a real mentor connects with you, and that's how DSA connects with the story, connects with you, and is able to show that. So the mentor's role is to help all, not just the one person. It helps everybody. So DSA has taught us that there is a hidden wealth within us that we must daily work to produce into something tangible, or something that we can offer to others as a service. DSA is a mentor, not a magician, and not a pastor. So this is why this is where people get it wrong, because DSA is only going to be able to mentor you if you truly want to be mentored. If you don't want to be mentored, if you don't want to go through the solitude, then you're not going to get the message. So, but DSA still tries, even when people don't listen, it still go out there, it still push his materials out. By the time you wake up, go and find it. So Nigerians, Africans, the Nigerian Africans have the spoon-feed me mentality, dependency mentality, just like the women always expect. Some women in Africa are trained to expect their husband to do everything. Oh, I'm just waiting on my king. It's coming. It's like, and it's not like that, because it's a dependency mentality. You've got to learn to become an individual, to become a personality. So that's something else as well. So DSA stays strong and positive. I also mentioned that, and that's a massive encouragement to us because he demonstrates the skills of an expert that you know that can mentor somebody is to hold your peace even in the midst of all the chaos and stuff. And just like Jesus did on the boat when it was, there was almost a shipwreck, and Jesus was like, "Well, you have little faith." You know, that's how it is. DS is like, "There's a storm, but just calm down." Okay, so when DSA teaches principles, I already mentioned this before. What it teaches are principles. Okay, so let's finish it off. The next slide is just the final statement from myself and Success. Is just to DSA himself and also to everybody. And we said that the mentor's role becomes meaningless if the mentee refuses to action the teachings. So it's really a wake-up call to all of us that listen to DSA to go out and ensure that these messages are propagated properly, that everybody across the spheres of the world can hear it. People, either via books, we heard of the Chioma who does all the books distribution, and it's also to also in our lives as well, carry on that message across as well. Also let us understand that DSA is not saying become like me, but become the best version of you. And then we said that DSA, if you look or if you ever wonder what your legacy will be, don't look too far. Look at us. We will carry your kind of impact into the next generation, Elizabeth and Success. So we will be those ones that will be like, okay, you know what? So that's it. Thank you very much.
Wow. Fantastic. What a journey. I mean, you literally, this is a very good explanation from A to Z about the importance of mentorship and how DSA is a mentor, and just to help our viewers to begin to see DSA and to see him as a mentor, because like you said, many people just see him as a pastor, other people just see him as a teacher. But I think if we begin to see him as a mentor, then we'll begin to receive his materials in that light. Yeah. All right, so thank you so much for that presentation. We have some callers already, so we're going to start receiving our callers. Okay. If you are a mentee of Dr. Sunday and you have your testimony you want to share of how Dr. Sunday has mentored you, the results that you have, the shifts in your mindset, please feel free to write us by going to Facebook Messenger, search for Move Agent, and let's hear your testimonies. Let's hear how the mentorship program, well, if you're going through the mentorship program, I think I would also like anyone who is going through the mentorship program to also share their experience in that mentorship program that Dr. Sunday has. It's a free mentorship program, actually, on sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. And Dr. Sunday says, I mean, that program is like worth like $3,000 a year, but it's offering it free. And if you are in that program and you would not mind to share your experience going through that mentorship program online, I mean, I want to welcome you with my arms wide open. Please just go to Facebook Messenger, like I said earlier, search for Move Agents and write to us that you would like to call in. And let's hear your testimonies. Mrs. Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Pastor Andrew, for your time today. It's the time spent with you.
Thank you.
Doing good things out there as well. You're also a mentor to many of us.
All right, sorry, I'm going to cut you. We already have a caller who wants to share, so we'll come back to you. Hello, caller.
Hello, Dr. Anu.
Good evening to you. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling from, please?
This is Pastor Harmony, calling from Cameroon.
Oh, Pastor Harmony, thank you so much for calling. You're welcome, sir.
Oh, Dr. Elizabeth, the way you explain on mentorship, wonderful, so perfect.
Wow.
So I wanted to ask, number one, how long have you been under Dr. DSA's mentorship? Because it's as if you're already qualified to be a teacher in HMT.
I don't know if you heard you. Did you hear what he said? I think you have to put in your earpiece so you can hear what he asked. So he commended your teaching, and he asked that how long have you been under Pastor Sunday's mentorship? Because just listening to your explanation of mentorship, you qualify already to be a teacher in HMT. So we would like to hear your feedback. So how long have you been mentored?
I've been listening to DSA since 2016.
Wow, since
Yeah.
2016.
Hello, okay.
Yeah. I've been listening to DSA since 2016, yeah.
2016.
Yeah, 2016.
Oh, can you imagine?
Yes.
Then I think I knew Dr. Sunday Adeleja almost
Can't even what he's saying.
2012, and I actually did not do my homework well. Anyway, from your example, from your explanation, I am determined to make sure that I follow all the teachings. Another question, please. In Africa, we are confused between who is a mentor and a spiritual father. Everybody, this is my spiritual father. Very soon here, this is my mentor. Please, what is the difference between a mentor and a spiritual father?
Great. That's a question you're throwing to Mrs. Elizabeth, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
What was the
All right. I would. Yeah, she's going to give you a response right now. Any other comments would you like to share, Pastor Harmony, before you leave?
No, I am so happy the way she explained on mentorship, so detailed, so explicit, and I think she's driving me into serious work. I really have to dedicate myself to really be mentored by DSA, so that just 2015 or 16, this is too much.
Beautiful.
It's a challenge on my side, and I have to really sit up. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, and thank you for the good work that you are doing. And we want to also thank Dr. Sunday Adeleja and for the teachings, made it available for people for free all over the world. I think in this generation, if people don't take advantage of this knowledge that DSA has given to people for free, I'm not sure they will really become again, because what do people really need now apart from this information? Thank you so much, Dr. Anu. Thank you so much, Dr. Elizabeth.
Great.
Wonderful expose. Congratulations.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Pastor Harmony from Cameroon, for calling. If you've not registered for the mentorship program, I think it would be a great one for you to do. For you to register for Dr. Sunday's mentorship, you could just go to sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship. For our viewers who are watching us and they're asking, how can Dr. Sunday mentor me? How can I be a mentee? Well, that's it. Just go to sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship for mentorship. But Queen Elizabeth,
yes,
a question was asked about the difference between spiritual father. I mean, some we have spiritual fathers, and some people say my mentor. So, what is the difference between a spiritual father and a mentor? That's the question that Pastor Harmony asked you.
Well, I think the whole idea of people not understanding what a mentorship means or who a mentor is already a problem, a factor, because some people actually have mentors that are genuine mentors, but they refer to them as spiritual father. But it's not actually a spiritual father, because it's not giving you any sort of spiritual guidance. It's just telling you how to, it's giving you the principles of how to look through the next stage of your life. It's like when Maya Angelou was mentoring Oprah. She wasn't actually telling her, oh, you've got to pray to God. No, but rather, some of this, take this step, or speak to this person, go this way, have this way, think like this, change your mindset about things, do it like this a different way, try a different way like this, heal through this, you're still broken in this part, get through healing. We've seen DSA show once and, actually brought a chart and said 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you categorize yourself. Where do you fall? Am I ill or broken? All those things, because it's trying to heal. And that's it. And, so I think, obviously, like I mentioned before, a pastor is not a mentor. But, also there's a misunderstanding of what a mentor is. I hope, like with our discussion today, that people have a little bit clearer understanding that who a mentor is, how it puts you through things, where it places you in life, how it helps you to connect the puzzle. Remember, our definition was that a mentor is someone who helps you to connect you. He helps you to connect the dot that you already have. You already have the wisdom. He just guides, he just oversees, he just gives you advice. And he also challenges you and tells you what time frame to connect it. Okay, you got to connect puzzle. You know, all those things. You know that you need to do. Those things you need to form. Those things you need to get rid of. You need to get. You know, so
Great.
it's about understanding that mentor is not a pastor, is a leader, is I think another word I like to use for mentor is the leader, which I've said, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
Fantastic. Great.
yeah.
Great. 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 All right. So right now, I would
So it's,
like you so that you could hear what the callers are saying. So they would would take the screen off your face so that you can maybe get a earpiece
yeah.
and then you could listen to what people are saying. So apakaji toka yada. So
Can
you
I
can
mute
so you,
myself?
yeah,
Can
so
I
you
mute
can
my?
leave now. You can leave now so that if you could hear,
Okay.
I think you can leave so that you could hear what people are saying, and maybe if some people have some
Okay.
questions to you, so you can maybe get a earpiece, and then we'll receive the next caller.
When you say leave,
By leave, I'm saying you could go get a earpiece.
no,
While
what I can do is, you know, when people are calling, yeah,
yeah,
can I
yeah,
mute myself here,
uh
and
huh.
I'll just do it on my iPad.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. So we'll receive the next caller right now.
Okay.
All right. So, dear viewers, if you want to partake in the DSA books promo, there are Sundays advertising. Is actually not just advertising, but is giving a discount for his books for this his birthday month. So, if you want to partake in this discounted rate, you could just go to your mail and write to us at DSA'S books@gmail.com. All right, so we have another caller right now.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Good evening to you.
Hi, this is Helen. I'm calling from the
Oh, good.
United States. Hi, Dr. Anu.
Thank you so much for calling, Mrs. Ellen. Good.
Of course, I have to. And
Awesome.
hi, Elizabeth.
All right. Hello, Elizabeth. She's saying hello. She's following. She's following.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've been listening and it's so interesting. I have to call because this is DS's birthday, birthday month, right?
Yeah.
So, how can I start this? I don't even know where to start. Okay. I want to say that this is bigger than DSA is bigger than mentor. And I'm not trying to exaggerate. And Dr. Anu, you know me. Well, we haven't met, but I'm very complex. I am not an easy nut to crack, but I'm telling you, DSA is bigger than mentor. I been with DSA for a year, and DSA has really taught me. And I've been I have, throughout my life, have been privileged. I won't say opportunity, but I've been privileged to meet really intelligent people. And because I'm very inquisitive, and I have never met somebody like DSA. His intentions are right. He is a giver. He doesn't give small. He's an extremist. He gives he's just a very special person. And when I met him, I connect. It didn't take me. It took me a few minutes to connect with him, and that doesn't happen to me easily. I didn't have to investigate him because there was no need. I didn't have to go, I've heard some people say, oh, so I think this is not real. So I went to the internet and I started digging. I never did that because I connected with him. When I listened to him, I heard truth. I heard sincerity. It was pure. So I followed him. And when I met him, I had so many questions and I was confused because I wanted to worship and I loved Jesus. Somebody didn't persuaded me. I just knew that I wanted to worship. And the church was a mess, so I was confused. So when I met him, he cleared all those doubts. And I was like so happy. I have to start all over again. Now, I'm not the kind of person that is worried to start all over again. If I find that it's trash, it's trash. I don't have that natural African fear not to talk, silence of all, none of that. That is not part of me. So when the truth hit me, I move.
Wow.
And I might not start a talk show and whatever on the internet, but trust me, I am given. Everything that I've learned from DSA, I am given. Everybody that comes my path, I am totally given. And trust me, I've done a lot.
Amazing.
This is very personal. I go 1-to-1. And I'm very deep, so I don't just want to just blab, waste my time and go on, you know. When I mark somebody and I know I want to impact somebody, I go personally and I give that person the truth, and that's what I've been doing.
Amazing.
But yes, so back to DSA. DSA is not just somebody that's just going to mentor you one-on-one and, you know, then you get all excited and get a goosebump and then you go away. He's not. He is here to change the world. Let me tell you. This is what DSA is doing. And my prayer for him is that all the persistent, consistent knowledge, effortless. I'm not going to say he does everything effortlessly, so that's how you know it comes so natural. And I pray that everything that he has given will fall on the right soil. Amen. And it will grow. Amen. And the fruits will actually spread the world. And I think at one point I had inboxed him and I said, DSA, you're changing the world every minute. Wow. And I mean it. Wow. He is. Whether he know, I'm quite sure he knows, but I think it's more than what he knows. This knowledge is spreading and it's changing the world. Let me tell you, DSA came, he shook the world, because when things are stagnant and things are building up, the only way to take it off, I mean, when some things that are not right are building up, the only way to take it off and mount it up with the right things is when you shake it. DSA came and he shook it, and it's been is shaking all over the world. So this is how I look at DSA. I don't look at DSA like DSA is my mentor. I don't claim DSA. DSA is not. DSA is the mentor of the world. Whether anybody likes it or not, that is the part he is playing. He doesn't even know what he has started. Wow. So that being said, even when during the election, DSA did not, me and DSA was not speaking. That was the only time I was not with DSA. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I cry sometimes. It bothers me. I was like, no, I wanted to get drawn in. I wanted to accept, because I mean, I love DSA so much because of the truth he has given me and everybody else, that I wanted to be with him in the same page. But because I am me and I have to be able to live with my decision, my personal decision, because I'm the kind of person that at the end of the day, I have to digest the information and live with my belief and my decision, or else I will be conflicted. So because I couldn't do that, it really hurt me. But at the same time, I came to the conclusion, DSA is a human being. He has already told us that I am human. Don't idolize me. Yep. Listen to what I am telling you, the knowledge that I'm giving you. That's what you need to listen to. That's what you need to take. So then I sat down, I'm like, duh, he's already told me. So I have to differentiate my belief or my personal belief or things that I think is good for me of what I believe, in fact, and differentiate that point of view from DSA. And that's how I work with DSA. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. So that being said, DSA is just marvelous. We love DSA. I'm not speaking for just me. We love him, we respect him, we adore him, and that is why I want to contribute my voice, because I can't just listen and go away without calling in and contributing my voice and letting the world know that I, Helen J., appreciate DSA. and I'll continue to appreciate him, love him from the bottom of my heart, respect him, cherish him, and support him with the little way I can, because there's nothing I can give DSA. DSA have too much for me to even give. What can I give DSA? I'm not talking about materialistic stuff, but DSA is loaded. So there's nothing I can give DSA but to contribute, call in and contribute my voice and say, DSA, thank you so much. We appreciate you and we love you. That's it.
Mrs. Ellen, I must say you've done so well. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Thank you for sharing those words. I'm sure Dr. Sunday is watching right now and is listening to you. All right. Thank you so much for the call. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. All right. So that is Mrs. Ellen from the US sharing our thoughts, sharing our appreciation. It's just, I think it's a season of gratitude. In as much as we're talking about different sides of Dr. Sunday, it's a season for us to be grateful to God for the life of Dr. Sunday, and also to be grateful to him for his sacrificial life, for what he's given and everything he's doing. All right, we have another caller. Hello, caller. Good evening to you from Kyiv, Ukraine.
Thank you, sir. Hello, Doctor. I know this is Olariwaju again.
Awesome. Thank you. I made a reference to you earlier today. I don't know if you heard me.
Yeah, I hear.
Awesome.
I hear. Yeah. And also, that yesterday I told you that if I want to talk about Dr. Sunday, I can say it every minute without even finish.
Wow.
And I said I want to do a program with Dr. Sunday one day, and I record the program, the purpose of mentorship and the reason you need mentor.
Fantastic. That should happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen. I want to do it before Dr. Sunday go to Nigeria. Because I hear someone say, "Oh, Jesus is my mentor." Yes, Jesus is our mentor. He's everybody's mentor. But Jesus has to manifest himself in somebody so we can get the message. Because the Christianity today, we are talking about the story of Jesus, what Jesus has done. If nobody say it and Bible didn't record it, we won't hear anything about Jesus. That is why we need mentorship. True. So today I'm going to talk about my life and how mentor have helped my life. We can't say we don't need mentor. We need mentor. And that's why I said I thank God for the life of Dr. Sunday. So for the almost 2 years that I know him, and I can testify to it as mentor. You don't need to see a mentor according to what Sister Elizabeth said.
Yeah.
But you can get the right message from your mentor and even make it to multiply it, and people will see that you have a right mentor.
True.
I remember in 1989, when I was 10 years, I lost my mom. And it's not just I lost my mom, it's a tragedy to my life because my mom died on my birthday,
Wow.
And it's a great, it's something I cannot forget. So things begin to change, and my mom had a sister, and everyone started dying one by one. Only 2 remain today.
Wow.
And I went through, me and my brother, we went through hell to survive in life. Nobody, nowhere. Even to go to school, we went to primary school, secondary school. I have to go and do labor, bricklayer labor to get money to pay for my school fees. So when I finished, and I met a lot of friends, and out of one of the friends, so started to mentor me. And this friend is older than me. So we get a job. I finished my work in 1998. In 1999, we got a job to gas station, filling station in Nigeria. And I started saving money. And this friend told me, "Larry, you are a hardworking guy. I can direct you. I can tell you how to use your money. Don't just use your money to have a girlfriend, do all kind of stuff." And thank God I listened to this brother. So he took me to a bank. I opened an account into Afri Bank. So this AfriBank I started, and one day he came back again. We worked in the same police station, but he's older than me, I went to him and I said, sir, I have some money and I don't know what to do. And he told me, Larry, you can use your money to buy properties. That is how I started buying land. I bought 7 land and 7 cocoa farm that time. And also, this is how I begin. So in 2003, I got admission to Ibadan Polytechnic. And I said, and nobody, because I'm the only one, I have to take care of my father. My father doesn't have anything. He's a poor man, and I love him because he have something I call encourage. He encouraged me. He told me many things about life. So I have to take care of him. I have to take care of my brother. So I said, okay. Before I go to that school, I opened a 2 shop. One cement, I call it cement store, and other is an oil, I call it oil farm. I sell it oil and I sell cement. So I went to school. I started paying, and suddenly things changed because of the people that I put there. They are not trustworthy. Everything collapsed, everything. And one of my friends came to me and said, Larry, you know what? You can travel out. You can travel to UK. That is how I involved in travel. And I spent all my money to go and study in Stratford College in London. I got admission. I paid all the necessary thing I did. But unfortunately, they refused my visa. And they said, well, the person who may accommodate you, we contact him. And he said he didn't know me. And the person didn't told me that he will use somebody that he will not be able to identify me. This is how I started appeal. I appeal, I do all kind of things. So the day they will give me a visa, they send a letter to me. They say the court, they are going to have a court case on November 2006. Yeah, and the court is going to be Royal Majesty in London. If you have anybody that can represent you there, that can say, I will stand for you, we will give you the visa. I called one of my uncle and he said he's going to help me. I sent the letter to him. He signed also. He sent it to the court, and the court sent another letter that, okay, the case will pronounce so date. I said, okay. So on that day, that is November 2006, they called me. I didn't receive any call from my brother from anywhere. So by December, my uncle called me and he said, Larry, I'm sorry. I forget to go. I went to work and I can't able to make it to go. That is how they disqualify you. And he said, don't worry, God will do something better. That is how things go parallel for me, because I've sold everything that I have. I sold land, I sold everything. I spent 1.2 million on this traveling. This is how life become miserable. I cry. I couldn't go anywhere. I just locked myself inside room. I will not go to anywhere. So one day my friend came and he said, Larry, you can't continue like this. We couldn't see you anymore. You look raw. You don't look good like before. And I said, I want to die. Because the reason why, look at my father, look at my brother, things are going wrong. We can't afford 3 meal of And I said, no, I need to. He said, no, Larry, don't die. I have another option for you. I said, what option? I said, you should go and learn something, maybe like electrician. I said, no, I know, I would rather die than do that. So this guy will come to me every day in the morning, give me money and just sit down with me, mentor me. So he said, okay, you know what, you need to follow me. And this guy is a painter. So I will follow him out to go to paint house, and he'll give me money, he will buy food for me, and he said, Larry, I don't want you to be like this. I just want you to wake up. I want you to have your own job. I want you to have your own something that you could do, and your life will start it again. And I say, do you know what I know? What I love? He said, well, I said, I love electrician. I want to be an electrical technician. So he took me to one man, and the man said he's going to collect 28,000. And I said, I can't afford it. You know, my father cannot even afford 100 naira. You know my family. And he said, Larry, don't worry. And he said, okay, I have second option. He said, there is a guy, he's my friend, he's a plumber. He can help you. So we went to the guy, and the guy said, okay, you can stay here till you get money, but I will collect 6,000 naira. I said, okay. So for 3 months, I knew the job. I can do it by myself. So people that my boss friend They will come to me and they will say, Larry, don't worry, we'll take you to. So on Sunday, they will give me a contract. The contract that's supposed to pay a lot of money, they will pay me 2,000 naira. I will run 3 toilets, 4 toilets, and I will collect. In just 7 months, I have 150,000 in my account.
Wow.
And I could be able to give my father 100,000. My father said, how do you get it? I said, don't worry, Dad. I start life begin again. People see me. My friend in school, they will come and say, Larry, you can do this. You can quit school and come and learn this thing. I said, yeah, I will do it. And in 2007, I finished, I do my freedom, and I started my own job by myself. So one day I called my friend, and I said, I still want to travel out. And I went to somebody who helped me to do the paperwork. That is how I traveled from Nigeria to Cairo, from Cairo to Philippines, and Philippines to Okon. But fortunately, I play a lottery before I travel. And my friend called me and said, Larry, you won a lottery, and you need to come back to Nigeria. This is how I come back to Nigeria. So, and everybody asked me, why do you come back? I said, don't worry. So in 2010, everything come to normal, and I got my visa in 2010, and 2010, May 5, that is how I landed in the United States of America. But everything based on mentor. People mentor me to get the right thing. That is why when I met Dr. Sunday and I see what he's teaching, and I say, no, I will rather stick with this man, because since I begin to listen to him, I still have more knowledge, more wisdom. So Dr. Sunday's birthday is something that we will celebrate for life, not just 1 month. It's something we will remember, and we continue to talk about it, That's why I said I would like to do a mentorship program. I shot this story because of people who will call. But I just want to say we need a mentor, and we need a right mentor. You can see what our pastors in Nigeria are doing. They have misled millions of people, and until Pastor Sunday and some other people come and say no, they begin to say the truth. That is the reason why we need a mentor like Pastor Sunday, who can teach us, who can tell us, who can give us the right path, and say the truth, not people who will mislead us and just take us the wrong way, that we will think we are serving God, we are doing it. But we need a right mentor like Dr. Sunday. God bless you, Dr. Arno.
Wow, what a story! I mean, you've literally whet our appetites for your program with Dr. Sunday. So right now we are looking forward to that program you're going to have with Dr. Sunday on mentorship. But thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, that talks about the importance of mentorship. Before we have our next caller, I want to be kind. So Elizabeth is still with me, and I don't know if she's able to hear what people are saying. Are you able to hear what people are saying?
Yes, I can hear it.
You can hear it. Okay, because I wanted to be kind enough to say you can give your final words and yeah, I don't know, but I just thought about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I said we're true. If anyone has any question, I'm pretty sure Pastor Anu can tackle it. So yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been wonderful, and from the last callers, that's story. It's really very powerful and very sad actually. But it didn't end sadly because of the power of a mentor, and it just reminded me of one of the points that I made along the line is that a mentor, everyone comes across a mentor at every point of their life. Is you get to meet a mentor, and you have to recognize that that's a mentor, and there's nothing wrong with that. We acknowledge that I had a mentor through the stages of my life, or through a stage in my life. It's very, very powerful. Remember, and please bear in mind that behind every successful person is a mentor. So yes, thank you very much. It's been very awesome today, and I really had a great time, and I hope everyone stays blessed. All
right, good. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for coming today. It was a great time. We still have more callers who want to share their testimonies, so definitely you can listen to them. All right, so we would have the next caller who would like to share his or her testimony on Dr. Sunday as a mentor. So if you are still there and you want to contribute, you can contribute by going to Facebook Messenger and searching for Move Agents, and you can write to us that you want to call to share your testimony, your message, or to congratulate Dr. Sunday. All right, so as you can see, this book here is titled Life's Greatest Secret, but I'll talk about it after this caller. Hello, caller. Good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Please, before you continue speaking, I can hear the background video.
I've low it.
All right, beautiful. No, okay, so can you tell us your name and where you're calling from, please?
Yeah, my name is Blessed Lemos. I'm calling from Spain.
You're very much welcome, Evangelist Blessed.
Thank you. I want to really appreciate the work you are doing.
Thank you.
May the good Lord bless you for the work you are doing. This is a very great and wonderful work. And I would like to also thank our beautiful sister Elizabeth.
Yes.
It really inspired many for this just a little period she was talking. She inspired a lot of us. I am included, you know. She really got me inspired, you know.
Beautiful.
Inspired by her. And I do also follow what some of her messages on Facebook. She's doing great.
Yeah.
You know. And I've listened to some of Anna's story, how she started, and now look at her. She's inspiring people. And that is a method that can, a real mentor, a good mentor that can really do that kind of a job on a human. That can make an ordinary person somebody that almost, you know, losing it, make that person to become an agent of a change. It's only a real method that can do that.
True.
I really want to appreciate God for Dr. Sunday, because if not Dr. Sunday, many of us, I don't know where would have been by now. Many of us would have thought that God have forgotten us, or God is not hearing our prayer, or many of us would have blamed God for a lot of things. Would have blamed God. I thank God for Dr. Sunday. You know, when we are talking about what Sister Elizabeth, we're talking about Dr. Sunday, and he refers to Dr. Sunday that Elizabeth, according to her, that she said that DSA is like a Jesus for her. and a lot of people, a lot of religious people will not understand that word. You know, when somebody says somebody is like Jesus, you know what that actually is a big word. That is a big word. It's not just to praise somebody, to give merit. No, it's you know, the reason why many people like me, many people like Elizabeth, they are looking for formerly Elizabeth, not Elizabeth of now. People like that, the reason why they are looking for God in different places, looking for God in a building, looking for God in desert, looking for God on the mountain, looking for God in wherever, because they did not see human being that look like Jesus Christ, that could act like Jesus Christ, that could talk like, that could represent Jesus, that could demonstrate and replicate Christ here on earth. They could not see. That is why they are looking for Jesus on the mountain. They are looking for Jesus inside on the building. They are looking for Jesus in different ways, because they could not identify it in the people that are around them. So I thank God that it's of true that Elizabeth was right. Many people that really have an encounter, that really come across at Dr. Sunday, that really come to know Dr. Sunday, many of them, I do listen. I have not met Dr. Sunday one-on-one.
Yeah.
Then when I'm listening to their testimony, Many of them, I heard them saying that the first time I saw Dr. Sunday, the way he received me, nobody have ever honored me as such. Nobody have ever, he presents me as if I'm a queen, as if I'm a king, as if nobody have ever given me such wonderful and a warmness presentation. That they saw that DSA really is this is a really God replicant here on earth. This is a real God replicant. Full. They saw it in him. So me myself, whenever the DSA is talking, especially yesterday, when that brother that we're talking with you yesterday, he said that DSA books, he reveal the love he has for people.
Yes.
He reveals the compassion. How compassionate it is to the world. It reveals his kindness. It reveals all the fruits of the spirit. It reveals through his book. It manifests it when you are when that brother we were talking yesterday, I will listen. I say, wow. That is what is happening. Whenever I read in the Dr. Sunday book, this is what is happening to me.
Yeah.
It's just it's as if I'm seeing him. It's as if that word it will just be like it will become flesh in me. It will look as if is a father, a heavenly father is, DSA, his attributes when a pastor Natasha come up with a 50
attributes.
50 of DSA attributes.
Yes.
I say for me is more than that. Is more than that. It's true. So because that word that DSA that Sister Elizabeth said that DSA when is for her, DSA is like Jesus here on earth. Many religious mindset they cannot comprehend that word. They will
say that by saying DSA is like Jesus, they will say they are equating him to Jesus.
And they will say you want to idolize him now.
Yeah, yes.
They'll say you want to worship him now.
Yes. That is saying DSA is their Jesus.
Everyone that really know DSA, everyone that really know DSA know that what Elizabeth said is true. Anyone that when we're not talking about the mentorship class, mentorship that Elizabeth was talking about, it's true that everyone that really want to everyone that really want to follow God, you really need a mentorship here on earth. You need a mentor. You need a mentor. But the question is that who is mentor? And where will you find a mentor that will really bring life out of you? That will wake you up, that will make you to become an agent of change. Because when we are talking about mentor, that is from Nigeria, I will use the Nigeria to make example on this one. We from Nigeria, we believe that a mentor is somebody that you will go out, that will teach you how to lay hand. That will teach you how to lay hand. Then that person will also tell you that he will teach you how to lay hand, how to be praying for somebody that is demonized, how demon will be out of that person. So all these things they will just they believe this is as the system of a mentor. This one mentor mean to them. But in DSA case, it will make you to understand what is your goal in life.
True.
and it will make it concrete for you. It will make you to understand what is the meaning of goal. It will make you to understand how to build system. Who does that? It will help you to arrange important and urgent or the urgent tasks according to the purpose of God in your life. Who does that? His mentorship class. It will not just. It will. It's meant. You know. Oh my God. Many. Is really. What Elizabeth were talking about. That many people should go back to. They will go look for look for a mentor, because when we really actually know what is mentor, then we'll now understand who DSA really is, who he is, and how we can identify him. Because a mentor is not somebody that will just give us money. We'll be expecting money from. He will only teach you how to make money. A mentor is not somebody that will just, like Jesus, he said, I will make you a fishers of men.
True.
He will make you, he will rebuild you. He will bring that life that is exhausted in you. He will make that life come out of you, for enable you to have your life back, to face the real essence of life, to face your vision in life, to live according to the purpose of God in your life. It will not just, for example, I want to use myself to make example. Before I come across DSA teaching 2016, I mean. Then 2016, there was a apostle in the place where I live. He normally, refers to me that you are my mentee, I'm your mentor. Then I have this knowing. Then when I will not having this feeling that mentor, you are my mentor, I'm your mentee. Then why is he teaching me? How does it relate? What does it mean when he were telling me that he's my mentor, why I'm his mentee? He will take me to each family's people house. He will say he want to go and do deliverance. When we get there, he will start laying hand. Then he will give me oil to hold. So that was his system of a mentorship. You understand?
Yeah.
So it will be laying hand. Then anytime, because he also live in other village. Whenever I come to city, he will look for me. He will tell me that you are my mentee. A servant is not greater than his master. All those mentality. I say, God, am I a servant? Then I'm reading my Bible that Jesus said that we are no longer a servant. We are friends. We are his children now. We are sons and daughters. We are no longer slaves. So why all this treating? Why all this treatment? Then when I started listening to Dr. Sunday, what it actually meant about how to train people, ordinary people, to becoming an agent of change, and I make him to understand that I'm sorry, sir. I believe that there's a mistake here. I believe that you are not I don't understand this issue of the mentor. Please, can we just be we cannot begin to understand. I'm not able to discover that mentor that he's referring to.
You revoked your mentorship agreement.
Yes, I begin to let him understand that mentor is like that mentor that you are talking about. I didn't see it's only when I started listening to Dr. Sunday, I now begin to know that what he meant about mentor is making mistake. A mentor is not just to put you in bondage. You don't even know the where you are going. You don't even understand who you are. You don't even know the purpose of life. You don't even know. You don't even know your goal. You don't have vision. Then it's like I'm in the dark. I saw that something is not right. Then when I started listening to Dr. Sunday, I started revoking him. I started telling him, please, you are not my mentor. He said, no. He said, I'm stubborn. That is rebellion. He said, I'm stubborn. I said, no, I'm sorry, sir. I don't believe you are my mentor. I don't believe. He said, what? He said, I should go and pray about it. For me not to just disrespect him that way. And I said, okay, I will pray about it. Then I started reading Dr. Sunday, this Mountain of Ignorance. That was my first book. Then when I read that book now enabled me to know that ignorance that we are talking about, ignorance is spread from the church. Ignorance spread from the church. Through the teaching, we are getting from the church, and through the message we are listening to from the church, it make us to not it make us not to unable to use our mind. We are not using our mind. We are not using our mind any longer. So that book, that Mountain of Ignorance, it make me to understand a lot of things that ignorance can lead to, that make somebody to becoming knob in the kingdom of God, become adamant, stagnant. Without you don't be. It's like when somebody is in the dark. When you don't know, when you are in the dark room, you don't know what is what any longer. I say, wow. So that book it make me to understand that hence ignorance spread from the church. I begin to limiting all those church activities that I almost shook myself up with. I limited them all, and I begin to concentrate on what Dr. Sunday is teaching. And I begin to understand that how you can value your word. If you don't value your word, you cannot value the word of God. That now enabled me to learn, and I begin to learn that you have to value your word first. If you don't value your word, you cannot value the word of God. So that gave me the courage. I begin to, and because if we don't value our word, our attitude towards the word of God, our attitude toward what people are telling us, our attitude will be wrong. And I begin to learn that you must value your word. And because God value his word, that is why he could be able to create, he could be able to create man in his own image and likeness. He began to reform me. I say, wow, that is how my own word begin to start having a new shape, a new beginning, having a new shape. My mind beginning to function, because my mind, I cannot internalize any before. I cannot even use my mind before because of religiosity.
Wow. Because
of religiosity, because of the ignorance that we inculcated in me through church. So DSA is not just a pastor. When they are referring to DSA, hello, you want to say something?
Yeah, we're listening. We're listening to you.
Okay, so DSA is not just a pastor. It's not just a pastor that somebody will be looking forward for him to be pray for us. It's not just a pastor that somebody will be expecting to come and lay hand on them. It's not just somebody that you are paying your tithe and offering that you'll be demanding. When DSA said that, whenever he said that he want to support you financially, it's by the grace of God. There is by the grace of God, his grace that led him, is the Spirit of God that led him. So then it's not even because DSA is a teacher. Wow. He's a teacher. So when he promise somebody, he want to give somebody money, it's not your pastor that you will give your tithe and offering. Then when he didn't give you that money, you have all the legal right to be angry because you are giving him all your money every month and almost every Sunday. So somebody that he came out out of the will of God, out of the purpose of God over his life. He saw his community, he saw the world system, he saw the people, he saw the way they are going, and God led him. He brought him to come and transform our world. So it's our duty to go and know the meaning of a mentor. When we know the meaning of, when we know we understand the concept of mentor, we will now know how to place DSA.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Evangelist Blessing, you've spoken very well. I mean, you also have your shows. I know you have your shows where you review some of those
God
books,
bless you.
and yeah, I think you spoken wise words, and your words will definitely resound in the hearts and in the minds of people, not just for this moment, but even people who would watch this video after it's been done now. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Thank you so much for sharing your impressions, Evangelist Blessing. All right, so dear viewers, we still have some more callers who want to share their testimonies, so we'll be receiving their calls. And if you want to partake in the DSA's book promo, as I've been announcing, to get Dr. Sunday's book at a discounted rate, you can do that by going to DSA'sbooks@gmail.com. All right, I have another caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Anujo.
Oh, this
our
sounds
guest,
like
Elizabeth today.
Mr. Charles.
Yes, that's me. How are you today, sir?
Well, we're doing very good. Thank you so much for asking.
All right, let me quickly take a swipe at our guest today. Where is Mrs. Success? I know she has dropped off.
Did you mix the name? Because the name is Elizabeth.
I know she's going to tell me I'm a personality. I know you're a personality. Please, can we all applaud her? She really helped, and that's why you can see from the callers that they got it right, how they should see a mentor.
True.
And one of the beautiful things about her, which is equal, the same for many other people, is that I have also never met DSA before. I don't spend personal time pursuing DSA to asking questions. I stay from a distance and I'm watching. And in my watching, I'm taking lessons.
Beautiful.
The first time when I came about DSA when it came back live on Facebook, when I heard it, the first thing I did was to go and listen, what has this man been preaching? So I abandoned the live broadcast, went for the over 200, in fact, those messages he had then were about 140 something. Then I was looking on internet, I found a lot more. And when I listened to them, now I understood where this man was coming from.
So you are maybe one of the very few people who would be able to understand why Dr. Sunday says, listen to 200 of my messages, because you've done it.
Yes. If you don't, it is impossible for you to get the best of DSA. When DSA tells you, I am going to Nigeria. See, there is a message DSA preached in 2008. In that message, it was in America, I can't remember the state. It was telling them that God is going to raise someone for Africa. He didn't know he was the one that will go. He was telling that God is going to raise someone to challenge the order of the day. Even the church world will be challenged, but he never knew that the cup was hanging.
Wow.
But the cup was hanging on his head.
Wow.
But you see, if you don't listen to these messages, you don't hear what he said in Norway, you don't hear what he said in Sweden, you don't hear what he said in Germany, you don't know all these things, you'll just be shouting, oh, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. No. Calm down. Go, and when this man makes a statement that God is not going to come and change Nigeria, what does he mean? You must know what is behind every statement. And how can you know? It took the children of Israelites to understand what God was saying. That's why God will first introduce himself. I'm the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You must first understand how I walked with those men, what I said to them as promises, has it come to pass or not, before you can know how to walk with me. Track record with God. And God doesn't leave anyone in darkness. There must always be a track record. And when people are telling us today that Jesus is their mentor, they are liars. Jesus only had 12 mentees, and one of them never took the lesson. A mentor is a teacher. They called him rabbi. In fact, it's kind of mentorship. It's like what you are enjoying now. They live with Jesus. They walk with him. They know everything about his schedule. Wherever he sleeps, they sleep. Wherever he walks, they walk. Those are the people that were his mentees. That's why they call him teacher. Teacher, what teacher meant in those days is not what teacher meant to us today. In teacher, in those days, you pack your bag, say goodbye to your parents, and go and live with your teacher. Yeah. That was why when Elisha was called, the first thing he was looking at is that, first, let me go and address my parents. No. You have to abandon everything, because once you go with this teacher, all your lesson is on the way.
Sure.
And you don't know if you ever find your way back home. And that's why Christ himself said, when I go, the Spirit will come. He will teach you all things. But you have two options. Sit down with the Spirit to download to you and go through all the way, the pain, the ups and downs, the mistake, or take the lesson from a man that has gone through the way and just run. The choice is yours.
True.
Sorry. So, we really need to understand when you talk about mentorship, what should be your position. And when you have a mentor, your goal is to get the lesson. If you don't get the lesson, you are going to be disappointed. And that's why many people are disappointed today. They were looking for a hero. They were looking for a spiritual father. They were looking for someone they can cry to, and they will cry to God for them like Moses.
Yeah.
But Jesus didn't do that. That was why the Bible says he went about. He didn't sit down in one place. And this one will come. Sir, my son is sick. He will lay hands. The woman will come. Sir, my husband beats me. He will cancel. He didn't do that. He went about. So that means it's your responsibility to follow the mentor.
Yeah.
Elijah told Elisha, if only you see me, you can't be distracted. Focus.
True.
Don't listen to naysay. That's not your business. Just focus. Why are you here? What do you see? What do you not know that you want to learn? And the moment you have learned it, you can carry your bag and say goodbye. Fantastic. Nobody begged you to subscribe. And you see, you know what's funny about being a mentor? It is only those that are doing it to make money. There's no application form. I've not met DSA. I've not given him a cent. But I've taken from him from a distance. Yeah. If I tell him DSA, I don't need you again tomorrow, he didn't even know I was there in the first place. I have all to gain or all to lose for myself. So we value him, we respect him. Following him, his boldness gave me boldness. His courage in the midst of adversity makes me not to care about anything happening in the physical. Because we are already more than conquerors.
True.
God bless you guys. God bless
DSA.
Wow,
Mr. Charles. So I mean, listening to you is always refreshing. I mean, pure words of wisdom, and I'm sure our viewers they were not waiting for that point where you say you are done, because it will be good enough for you to just keep continuing sharing your thoughts. But thank you for sharing those words of wisdom. Thank you for releasing that out. We still have one caller left, as I can see here. Okay, so we're going to receive the caller. If you want to register for DSA's mentorship, free mentorship online, you could just go to sundaydelajablog.com/mentorship. We have another caller. All right, good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, sir. I know Joe.
Good evening to you.
It's a pleasure. I thank you for what you are doing. First and foremost, I have to appreciate.
Can you please
DSA.
Introduce yourself if you don't mind? Can we know you and where you're calling from?
Okay. My name is Mr. Godde Koyeme.
All right.
I'm a regular listener of your program, and as well, I share your program always.
Thank
Even
you.
I do watch party. Because Son Adeleja is a man that Africa actually needs for now. I think he's a mentor, he's a preacher, and at the same time, in fact, he's a man of God. Ever since I started listening to him, my life has changed. I've come to know so many things about God. The man is a man who has been giving us the true picture of God. In fact, I say 7 boza to Dr. Sunday Adeleja. In fact, all his critics up till now, I've been asking them, why can't you come up and defend yourself with the scripture? But all his critics, African pastors, 90% of them, in fact, are only gathering people just for their own selfish interests. They are not making disciples, but they are gathering members for their own selfish interests. But I thank God for raising a man like DSA, a man like Sunday Adeleja. In fact, we all should rally around him because Africa has gone bad. That we need a man like him. God is not coming down. But I thank God that God has answered our prayer. We must give him all necessary support because I can see 90% of Pentecostal pastors in Africa, they are there gathering people for their own selfish end. Instead of making disciples, they are making members just for their pocket. But I thank God for raising a man like DSA. DSA, once more, I say happy birthday. DSA, I say once more grace.
Beautiful.
I appreciate you.
Beautiful.
God bless you. And Ojo, thank you for what you're doing and all the crew out there.
Wow, thank you so much.
Keep the good work flying. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Godde. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
For your appreciation. Thank you so much for that. All right, so I think that is our final call for tonight. Wow. I mean, thanks to Elizabeth who spoke on this subject, DSA as a mentor. And right now, just processing everything that has been discussed today and having a prior knowledge of the series of topics that will be coming up for the next few days, I think it's going to be a wonderful ride because right now, everybody is saying DSA is a mentor. DSA is a mentor. Until tomorrow, we'll have another program that is totally different from today. And then the day after tomorrow, another subject. Is going to be a wonderful 28 days celebrating Dr. Sunday, seeing different sides. The first program we had was with Dr. Gideon, and he talked about DSA's books. And anyone who watched that program, I mean, you say DSA is a prolific author. Maybe there is no one, or maybe there are few people who are able to produce quality books like Dr. Sunday. So you go and say, okay, he's a prolific author. Yesterday I spoke about DSA's values, and people talk about DSA, oh, he's a man of love, he's a man of faith, he's a man of hope and all of that, patience. And today, we're speaking about DSA as a mentor. But I want to appreciate you all. Thank you for being with us this long. Well, as I said, this is going to be a whole month of celebrating Dr. Sunday Adelaja. We're celebrating his life. We're celebrating his impact. We're celebrating his legacy. We're celebrating God's goodness in the life of Dr. Sunday. Of a truth, Dr. Sunday, he has lived a sacrificial life. And there are many things that we can learn from him. A lot of things we can learn from his life, a lot of things we can learn from his messages. And we're going to continue again tomorrow. celebrating Dr. Sunday. And I hope you're just getting along, because we still have more days to come. So a few announcements before we call it a night. The first announcement I would like to make is we're having DSA's book, DSA's books promo, which would last for this whole month, where everyone who is watching us right now, you could write to our office here at DSA'sbooks@gmail.com for you to partake in this discounted rates for Dr. Sunday's hard copy books. That's the first announcement. The other announcements, just because we're talking about mentorship program, if you're watching and you don't know about Dr. Sunday's free mentorship, you could just go to sundayadelajablog.com /mentorship. sundayadelajablog.com /mentorship for that program. And also, I would like to announce to everyone who is watching, tomorrow we have a special ask session. I want to invite you specially. We're going to be answering some questions that that people have asked Dr. Sunday at certain points since he started the live shows, and we want to try to give answers to some of the questions that they've asked that we can give answers to. That Dr. Sunday, that at least we've been here looking at Dr. Sunday's life, what he does, how he acts, that you're not here with us, I've asked him at different points. So we're going to be giving answers to those questions. So if you have some questions that you like to know about Dr. Sunday, because you are not here physically, it would be great that you join us tomorrow at 2 p.m. Kyiv time. That is 12 noon UK time, 12 noon Nigerian time, for a special Ask Dr. Sunday session. And definitely we'll still have the 7 p.m., 5 p.m. Program with another speaker who will be talking about Dr. Sunday. So thank you all for being with us today. Please, if you've not shared this video, you can kindly share this video, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much. Bye for now.